It's grand final day here on Sydney Harbour. The Express SuperFoiler Grand Final finally here. It's the big moment. Our sailors have covered so much ground around Australia, and Jimmy Wisbowski, it all comes down to the next three races.
Yeah, spot on, Nick. It's big Sunday here, and it's big wind, massive shifts, and everything else you can possibly think of to make a sailing race extremely difficult. And a few of these teams have seen a few of those challenges already.
That's right, we have encountered some trouble already in the warm-up. Tech 2 escaped the majority of those challenges, but Record Point, the best on ground yesterday, they've gone swimming today already, and so too ID Intranet. So not without drama, and we haven't even fired a shot in anger yet.
No, just in their sort of pre-warm-up laps, getting to know the course and the features out on the track. A few of those mystery puffs have caught them off guard, so Record Point and ID have both been for a quick swim, check that the riding line works and all the safety procedures are in order, but they're all back up right now and they're ready to go, so this is going to be awesome racing.
It's the stuff of legends, Jimmy. The Hollywood script writers have been working overtime. 6 SuperFoilers, the whole bunch can finish on the podium here in Sydney, and 5 can go ahead and win it. What does that all mean? Well, precisely looking at our regatta leader points after 6 races, we can see that it's Tech 2 that have dominated so far. Consistency's been the key to them. 29 points, 4 points ahead of our series frontrunner Euroflex. And it's Record Point, who had a glittering day yesterday, 1 second place and 2 first place finishes, has them in 24 points. And Pavement, ID and Cleanmade all still in the hunt, given we're playing for double points today. So a win is suddenly worth 12 points per race. Jimmy, all up in the air.
Yeah, Record Point are definitely the standout from yesterday's performance. They sailed a 2-1-1, and realistically that should have been 3 wins. They stumbled on the last hurdle to the finish line, and it was extremely painful to watch as Luke Parkinson just sailed on by through the finish line. But, you know, that's the indicator for today. Phil's got the speed, and it's going to be interesting to see if this capsize has rattled him at all and how they can pull it off today.
And this is what it shaped up. This is how we arrived here in Sydney. The first regatta was won by Euroflex in Adelaide. They took out the next in Geelong, and you know what? They said, this is pretty easy. Let's add the Gold Coast to that as well. But this is when it became interesting. Race number 4, regatta number 4, was in Busselton, and that was taken by Tech 2, and that is how the gap has closed down so quickly. 2 points between Euroflex and Tech 2, which means it's really crucial that if Tech 2 want to win, they finish this regatta in front of Euroflex. Pavement's certainly still in contention too. As I mentioned, 5 SuperFoilers are. Jack, it's a salivating prospect here.
Salivating it is. It's all action stations out here at the moment. We've had a couple of capsizes before the races have even begun. So now the Euroflex, the new bowman, Lockie Gilmore, has just gone straight over the front in a jibe, and it looks like he's hurt himself slightly. The paramedics are just having a look at him now. So there's no shortage of action, and we haven't even got underway yet, Nick.
Incredible circumstances, Jack. It shows the pressure that sort of pours into things on the grand final big dance. How is the weather shaping up for today?
The weather's awesome. This is, again, Sydney glamorous weather. We've got a nor'wester wind, anywhere between 12 and 20 knots, so it's a little bit more tricky than the northeasterly that we had yesterday. It's more variable from light to windy, but absolutely glamour conditions. There's less traffic on the harbour, the sun's shining. We're in for a good show.
So just talking through Euroflex again, Jack, they're our series leader, and they've had an incident today. They also had an incident yesterday where substitute Connor Nicholas had to jump on. Are we looking at this stage that we could see something similar?
Yeah, I think so, Nick. I was watching the incident right up close, and they went in for a jibe, and the boat stopped more than what they would normally expect, and that comes into play with the board drop angle. And Lockie just went straight over the front and straight through the middle of the 2 hulls. But on the way through, it looks like he's been clipped by one of the foils, so they're just looking at him right now.
That would be incredibly painful, Jack, and he's with the best in the business, the Pro Guard guys. They'll attend to him immediately. We can see fresh pictures now of him actually being whisked away there. Incredible drama. What a start, Jimmy. Not what any of the sailors would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, that's definitely a nasty one, and the worst nightmare for us on the boats is falling in the water and getting hit by one of these foils. That's what we're trying to avoid at all costs, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he can get back out on the water for some racing, but you know, they might be calling up that backup again, and that's just the nature of this racing. Everyone knows full well what they're in for when we step onto these machines. They're unlike any other boat that's ever been designed or developed in the world before. Never before have we gone this speed on trapeze. It's just an absolutely new deal for us. So hopefully he's okay, and they can still clinch this series victory.
Well, Nathan Outeridge is one of the best sailors on the planet, an Olympic gold medalist. He's partnering with Glenn Ashby, one of the senseis of the sailing world, an America's Cup winner. They're leading the series, but all of a sudden with victory in sight, all the obstacles start popping up. This is not the start they would have dreamed of. This is nightmare stuff for the Dream Team.
Yeah, look, we know they've got a big job in front of them. The momentum's not with them at the moment. They didn't do so well yesterday in Saturday's racing, where Phil Robertson was the standout performer, and there you see Lockie. He seems to be okay. He's in one piece, so hopefully he's just a little bruised up and can get back out there, but we'll have to wait and see. But for sure Nate's gonna have to dig deep here with his counterpart Glenn Ashby and get back to work.
Yeah, there are 7 safety personnels on one of those umpire and official vehicles there, race operations. They're quick to impart some medical assistance on him, and they do have a paramedic on that boat, I can see, and also one on shore. So he is in very safe hands, and I did actually see a smile there from Lockie as well, so that is a relief, certainly, to see that.
Yeah, those pro guarding guys we have here on the jet skis are in there in an instant to pick you up out of the water, put you back on the boat, or get you to medical help. So we're all very grateful for them, and they've been very handy this series so far, and he looks okay there, so hopefully he's going to be okay.
It looks like there, Jimmy, that Lockie Gilmore may have cut himself.
Right.
And that was Jack McCartney we just heard asking if Lockie was okay there, and I'd say he would be able to give us the latest. Jack?
Can you make sure the protector's not on the cord?
Okay, Gary, let me know.
Yep.
Talk to me. You're on me? Okay, yeah, we're just here with the ops boat, and Lockie's getting padded up. He's got a little cut on his leg, but he's going to tough it out. He's tough as nails, young Lockie, so he's not going to miss this day. So he's got his pants back on, and I say once he gets sorted, he'll be back on the boat and ready for action. So that's great stuff by Lockie. Amazing.
Wow, that is an incredible story there, Jack, and such tenacity for Lockie Gilmore to make it back on the Superfoiler. That will be a courageous effort from him, but look at all the personnel around there just making sure that he is okay. They'll be doing all sorts of tests, Jimmy, concussion tests, and just making sure that injury is in a state that he is able to race. But amazing to see almost a foreman on the side of a boxing ring there, just giving the all clear. This is a sport of extremes at the moment. This isn't your Sunday pinstripe suit sailing stuff. This is the big boys.
Yeah, for sure. Look, like he's a young gun and he's tough. He's from West Australia, and he looks a little banged up. And I think the biggest problem here is going to be the mental aspect. You've just cheated death, fallen off the front of the boat, and come out unscathed. And he knows the job that's in front of him now. And for him to just get right back on the horse is going to be seriously impressive. He's a great sailor in his own right, a match racing world champion, and I'm sure he can get the job done today with the Euroflex lads.
Interesting to see Connor Nicholas there in the overalls. He was the man that was filling in the last race yesterday for the boys on board Euroflex. So he would have had butterflies going through the stomach as well, wondering if he was up again. He said at the time his heart rate went from 60 beats a minute to 200 beats a minute when Nathan Outeridge said you're up. And, well, I'm sure he'll be relieved, one, to see that Lockie's all in one piece, and two, that he's not going on board Euroflex again. The pressure of winning the Superfoiler Series won't fall on his shoulders. It'll fall on Lockie Gilmore. So incredible pictures, a testament to the great work that the medical staff do here on the series to get these athletes preening on the fastest machines on the harbour.
Yeah, exactly right. And what a day we've got shaping up. We've had Lockie Gilmore with an injury on Euroflex. Phil Robertson on record points gone over, and so is CJ and Team ID. So the last man standing here at the moment is Tech 2, Luke Parkinson. It's all going his way at the moment, but he's going to have to be the last man standing at the end of the day, not the start. Exactly,
and Olivia Price, we can see her Superfoiler in the background there. She's still standing. And an incredible picture to just see how it all goes on there, getting transferred back to the Euroflex Superfoiler. And I did hear Olivia just pass on her best wishes to Lockie on the way through. So while they are fierce competitors,
tough nut, eh?
they're certainly good friends too. Let's hear what they say when he's back on board.
Back and look at that bastard. You're good for heaps, are you?
Good for heaps. Go kill it.
Cheers, boys. That's what this boat does sometimes on port.
I didn't. What was the drop angle? I didn't think.
The drop angle was fine. It was a lured board, ventilated,
Yeah, right.
and then we just dropped from the sky. So on the drops and the jibes on this tack, like almost best to go on your knees. You know, and just be bracing yourself. I don't think we're far. They're just basically we're waiting for us.
Quite an amazing
Brando's
gash
ready to
there
go.
on Lockie Gilmore's leg. That's got to be incredibly painful for him to try and race for the next 2 hours with that kind of strapping, padding and pressure and pain on him. How much is that going to be playing into his mind, Jimmy?
Yeah, look, I think when the gun goes, it's all going to disappear out of his mind and he'll just be in full race mode. But it's just the nerves right now will probably be at their highest. He's lucky that all the sailors at the moment are wearing this new technology sailing gear with padding in the knees and the elbows in all the crucial areas, so that if we do take impacts, it's minimise the damage as much as possible. But, you know, he's going to be a little bit nervous now. When the gun goes, I think he'll be in race mode. He'll be just fine.
Let's talk about the pressure on Nathan Outeridge at the moment. He would have headed into this series as firm favourite to take it out, and he's had an injury to Harry Miguel yesterday and an injury there to Lockie Gilmore in before the exchanges have been fired there. He must be second-guessing himself.
Yeah, look, he's staring down the barrel a little bit at the moment. You know, this isn't the lead into this regatta that he would have liked going into the final day, but, you know, Nathan Outeridge is a true champion and no better guy on the boat to have than Glenn Ashby to back him up. No doubt in their ability in this big breeze, big shifts. This is what they sort of live for, and this is their bread and butter. You know, this sort of racing, tight, fast and very variable. I think this is going to work in their favour today.
Just those nervous pre-race moments now. We're not far away from the start of our first double points race here on the famous Sydney Harbour. So far, a few prisoners have been taken, but thankfully, none seriously injured. Jack?
Nick, yeah, the conditions down here are continuing to be challenging. The breeze is definitely up and down. The more it flicks into the west, the more it builds. So we're seeing gusts of around 20, 22 knots and then as little as 10, 12 knots. So not easy conditions for the last race of the Express SuperFoiler Grand Prix.
It looks like hard going out there, Jack. Were you surprised to see the pro guarding personnel were able to attend to that incident so quickly?
Not at all. The pro guiding guys are absolutely first class. They deal with this sort of stuff. They, you know, do the Cape Fear Red Bull event, and that's got to be instantaneous from their side of things. So no, they've been fantastic, and seeing Lockie get treated, he was in good hands and in good spirits, I think. So I think once they start the first race, that'll be a forgotten memory.
And it looks like the spectator craft today are really keeping their distance. A great sign that there's a bit more respect for the Superfoilers today.
Absolutely. So everyone's anchored up on the eastern side of the racetrack. There's no one really on the western side, and a much clearer track. There's less sailing activity on the harbour today, so looking really good.
Fabulous stuff. We're looking at pictures of Tech 2 here. That's Luke Parkinson, Aidan Menzies and Sam Newton on the bow. America's Cup experience aplenty there. Nathan Outeridge was a teammate, actually, of the steerer here on Tech 2, of Luke Parkinson in the last America's Cup. So they're great friends, but fierce enemies today. They're eyeing each other off. Both want the first Superfoiler silverware.
Yeah, for sure they know each other's game, and a big advantage here for Tech 2 today is the big man on the front, Sam Newton. He's back. He's probably got 15 kilos on Will Phillips, who was filling in yesterday, and that's going to be really handy in the big breeze today. So, as Jack pointed out, yesterday it was all about dodging the sailing boats and the other craft on the harbour yesterday. Today it's going to be about dodging these big bullets of pressure, the wind shifting in massive ranges, and these big lulls, and that's going to cause what Nathan Outeridge was talking about just before, about that foil ventilating. So the more the wind shifts, the more unstable these boats become, and the more that these foils will lose grip, come crashing out of the sky, and if you're not holding on, it'll buck you right off.
This is ID Intranet, Paul Campbell-James's Superfoiler. I heard an interesting story, actually. Ed Powys, who's on the bow there, was in Oman racing. He wasn't sure if he was going to come back, and he was coaxed back to Sydney for this grand final event by Paul Campbell-James through a WhatsApp text messaging. Kept texting him saying, we need you here, we need you here. And apparently what sealed the deal was the last message had a kiss on it. So it got him back here for the grand final, and they're not ready to kiss goodbye to their championship just yet. They're still in with a chance here, amazingly, Jimmy.
Yeah, look, they're a tough team, and Ed Powys is going to be really fired up for racing today, and they're going to fight all the way to the end. They won't be happy with their performance yesterday. They had a lot of instability downwind yesterday. We saw them working a lot on their foils last night, just trying to increase the attachment of the flow around the foil, and it's all about stable flight. You know, you can go really fast one moment and come crashing out of the sky, but you would rather just have that higher average speed, steady flight through the water, and that's what they're going to be chasing today. So hopefully a few improvements on the boat last night will increase their chance of that, and then they've just got to get their head out of the boat, spot the pressure, and sail the best way down the track.
We're into our pre-start sequence here, racing on a different side of the harbour. That's Shark Island, disappearing from picture there. They're going to get a nice run up towards Middlehead.
Yeah, so we're tucked right down in Rose Bay here and sailing up into the harbour. As Jack said, less boats in the harbour, so we're going to have a clearer racetrack, and hopefully they can put the foot down a little bit more and just send it.
That'll suit Steve Thomas nicely. The Sydney to Hobart winner is steering on board pavement. It's a kids' clothing brand, and they're certainly up there to take on the adults today. Dan Morris on the bow. Reese Mara, also part of the Extreme Series on the main sheet.
Yeah, look, and they were a little unhappy with their performance yesterday. Similar issues to CJ, just losing that stability downwind. So, I'm going to expect big things from them.
Happy to go backwards.
They've done plenty of sailing on this bay and on this boat here, so they're going to be right at home.
Back the jib. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3.
2 minutes away from racing here, Jimmy, and Record Point looks like they've shaken off any of the wobbles and water from their earlier
Okay,
turtle.
speed on here, boys.
Yeah,
Let's
Phil's
put
got
some negative in that board.
Phil's got his
They
ducks
pull
in a
that
row
board
here,
up.
and he's going to be looking at
Can't
another
sail
great
with it,
start.
eh?
Interesting to see if he takes the pin end
We're gonna
again,
go
which we
down
know he
here.
likes. Likes to be able to put the bow down and go.
Copy. Bow's coming down, Travellers going down.
And you can actually see on the main there some
Just wanna
damage
be
to the
slow
sponsor
and low.
riding just underneath Ningbo there, so it clearly had quite an impact when it went turtle.
Yeah, and this is classic Phil running down to the pin end of the line. And it's going to be interesting. They won't be able to sail for too long in a straight line off this start. They're going to be into attacks very soon off the line. So prioritising your ability to tack within 30 seconds off the line will be important.
And do you expect to see Euroflex cover every single move of Tech 2, or will they look to just keep them behind them at this stage?
Look, I don't think Euroflex can focus on anything right now other than just go, go, go. They can't cover, they can't think about Tech 2. They just have to go and win races right now.
Sounds simple, Jimmy. They've won 25 of them. What's 3 more?
Not too slow.
Nothing to those lads. I'm sure they've got 3 up their sleeve.
I think Luke Parkinson will have something to say about that. So too Sammy Newton on the bow.
Copy that.
Very interesting. Seems like a lot of boats are racking up on
I think we're
board
going to have to
here
do
come
one more
off the
tack
line.
here.
So
Stand by. 2,
a lot of manoeuvres
1,
that we
and
usually see in
racing.
the last minute.
We are racing. Let's go.
Tech 2 possibly a little late to the line here, trying to go.
Go, Aiden. Full pace. Yeah. Go.
Not
Full
late.
pace here.
Here we go, in the final 10 seconds to the line. Tech 2 underneath
We went
Euroflex.
forward.
Keep going, come on. Fast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
And a textbook start by Euroflex there. Oh, and Record Point.
Oh, Record Point's over. It's their second of the day, and this one before the start of the race. Robertson swimming again. Oh, disaster for Phil. Euroflex in the lead. They've made the most of the chaos behind them. It's clean air for them. Sailing their own race with Tech 2 playing catch up.
What a disaster for Phil Robertson and Record Point. Trying to bear away and duck the boats on port, just stuffing the leeward bow, and you can see how quickly his boats will throw you off.
Well, he was the best on Sydney Harbour yesterday. Today it's the worst possible start.
Stand by board, Sam. 2,
Go board.
And Euroflex just putting on a clinic here once again, just completely lamping on Tech 2 out of this first tack, giving them gas off the line. Absolute perfect start for Euroflex.
And a lot better start there from Pavement. That's great work from Steve Thomas. These are our top 3 in the series at the moment. Pavement there, Tech 2 in their wake. Tech 2's had a shocker. As we can see, Record Point scrambling to try and get them upright again.
Phil Robertson will be absolutely shattered there out of this race, you would think, and hopefully he can get right for the next one. But here's Nathan Outteridge, just stable flight, flying that middle hull just off the water. The higher you go, the more unstable it becomes, just when it's skimming, as you can see there.
Perfect stuff for Euroflex. Amazing to think they had such a calamitous start to this race. You wouldn't know it looking at them. They're so well drilled. And that's Neil Hunter on the pommel horse there, trying to get Record Point upright as ID Internet and Euroflex tangle here. Zooming towards Watson's Bay here, and it's Euroflex with some nice clean air. They've got 30 plus metres on ID, Pavement's in third, and there's Tech 2 Challenger. It's wet stuff. They're in 4th position at the moment and just not clicking, Jimmy.
Yeah, so Luke Parkinson struggling to find his groove here as Euroflex just sail up past Steel Point.
Big ride, isn't it?
If they can lay in to this top mark, you would imagine they'd be well ahead. But we're not sure what what ID will bring out of that left-hand side of the track. So they could converge quite tight here. And here Euroflex goes to that tack, hopefully laying into the top mark.
Well overstood, but it must trend left, okay?
So Nathan Outteridge, he's just going to work here. I had a conversation with his teammate Glenn Ashby, and I said it's just like the America's Cup. Today is all on the line. It's grand final day, and he said this is what I live for. He wasn't nervous, he wasn't perturbed, he was ready to go. And so far, so good for Euroflex.
And you see just how puffy it is there. That middle hull just skimming, the boys using all their power to sort of move these sheets as quick as they can, keep their heads looking out of the boat, trying to spot that next puff or that next lull.
And there's not much on there for them at the moment, Jimmy. It looks like they are.
And here we go, about to round the top mark onto this first downwind leg.
Could you please go and assist Cleanmate?
Nathan, with his fingers on the buttons, will just light the boat up and get it onto the foils as soon as they round here. Here we go, accelerating from 15 knots all the way up to 20, 25, 30 knots of boat speed in an instant.
And it's ID in second, some 11 seconds behind on the other side of the course, with Pavement giving chase in third, 15 seconds behind Euroflex. We're hearing that Cleanmade might have also had some issues. They've called for their chase boat, so the racing continues at the front as ID's biting off a lot here, 28 knots and climbing as the chaos unfolds behind them.
Here's Euroflex fully pressed as they come past Shark Island here, but we're watching from our central commentary position. They're absolutely flying down the track.
All the way to the wall here for me.
So not good news at the moment if you're a Tech 2 supporter. They're in 4th position. Euroflex, their great rival, is in 1st, but it's wet and wild out there at the moment.
Yep.
And those are those problems we're seeing with the ventilation of the foils, and big challenge from there for Nathan Outteridge trying to get stable flight. Really struggling at the moment.
Phil Robertson will be furious. He's still not upright. He can kiss this one goodbye as Euroflex are looking to make sure it's 1 from 1 here in Sydney. But it's ID who's taken a big nibble at them.
So ID had the stable flight issues yesterday, and now they've passed it over to Euroflex. Seems like right off Steel Point there is the advantage. And look at that, there's a perfect shot. Really nice flight from Paul Campbell James. Fang Warren on the wire doing the hard work.
Well, Ed Powey's on the bow. He's loving this. He'll be really enjoying it. He's racing in front of his family and friends today.
Two boards down after this drive, okay?
And look at that, perfect. Picture perfect there, G.
So they're just going to try and tap their nose on Shark Island here and then drive out of there and hopefully lay into the bottom mark.
Holding.
Extremely puffy as they get into the wall here.
Judge, go on. Copy.
A great little dance floor slide there from Paul Campbell-James. He's done that before. Back into position as we see Euroflex at the top, zoom by.
Come back up.
Massive snakes and ladders out there at the moment. Nate's actually got to go around record point here, so that's an obstruction.
Just keep the board down for now.
He's just gone through that middle gate, which is the start-finish line, and now he's still heading down to the bottom mark.
Towards Point Piper they go as Tech 2 builds speed almost 30 knots here. This is Luke Parkinson's dream scenario.
Driving.
Yeah, we know Luke Parkinson loves a challenge and he's willing to put the foot down if he has to. And he'll be absolutely going for it here.
No, 4.
Really interesting to see Euroflex, another ventilation there, just crashing down, really struggling for that stable flight. Team ID are out of sync with them, so we'll see them appear from the left side of the picture.
Make sure we're good for a dive.
Oh, and a big berry there from Tech 2. They're pushing so hard to get into contention.
An interesting Tech 2 here using all their foils, trying to increase their stability to help them get downwind. Not sure it's paying off at the moment, but if they can find their groove, that could be a winning tactic.
Yeah, copy.
One thing's for sure, Luke Parkinson's not going to die wondering. He's going to put all his cards on the table, and if he doesn't like it, he'll turn the table upside down. It's a good speed build here, Jimmy. It looks like they're gobbling up any ascendancy ID had.
There you have a big Sam Newton on the front with Ada Menzies interlocking their feet, trying to lean off each other and keep their balance. Team ID in the left of picture here, just boiling downwind nicely, but you see there's so many puffs and lulls, taking 100 metres at a time. Extremely unstable weather out there.
We can hear Aiden Menzies. He's so vocal, so important on board Tech 2 to let him know where the next breeze is coming from. Euroflex going nowhere fast.
Just watch the tiller bar there, mate. Just leave it for now.
Little issue there on Euroflex.
The roundup's going to be a bit hard. Yeah, we'll go left turn here.
So pressure in the right-hand side of the track, they're going to go straight in left turn.
It'll clear itself when we tackle. Okay, 2, 1, and coming up.
It's a great start to the Express SuperFoiler Grand Prix for Euroflex.
And that's the shot you see, all this pressure on the right-hand side they were talking about. They can go
Really
punch their
soft
nose
here,
into
might have to
that.
bend.
And then they're going to attack. So 10 knots in the lulls, 20 in the puffs.
Must be so hard to manage, Jimmy.
Unbelievably tricky conditions in these boats out there right now.
And dropping.
What a great little battle we've got between Tech 2 and Pavement as well. This is going to be close racing. Super close here.
Tech 2 doing an awesome job. They've found their groove and they're into almost, a battle with Pavement for second place here, passing ID.
They wiped a bit of speed into that marker there as Pavement are quick to build, and we can see plenty going on there. And we're just getting news that Sam Phillips on board record point in that capsize. He's also hurt himself and he needs some medical attention. So it's a busy day out there for the Pro Guarders as Euroflex is in first, Pavement second, and Tech 2 has jumped their way into third.
This is mental racing at the moment. So much changes in the pressure, the gust and the lull. It could not get any harder out there on Sydney Harbour. At least there's a few less boats today, but plenty to deal with still.
This is the grand final, Jimmy. Such a long season, so many bumps and bruises. You've just got to play through them at the moment. Only about an hour of racing ahead of you at this stage.
And Lockie Gilmore there on the front of Euroflex doing the job that they've got him to do. They're out in front, they're just trying to stretch the legs and get the boat nice and stable.
Jack, so much happening on the water. Can you make sense of it for us, please?
Oh, it's hard to make sense of, Nick, but the record point had a swim at the start line and Sam Phillips, the sheet hands, hurt his foot. It looks like it's quite a swollen sprain or something along those lines. So he's out for the day, and they're talking about getting Will, his brother, to come and fill in for him, who's currently on the corporate hospitality boat. So stay tuned on that one.
Gosh, just when you thought the comeback story of the day would belong to Lockie Gilmore, we could have one to top it there. I wonder if he'll be breathalyzed. Jack, will you be doing supervision to make sure he's good to go?
Yeah, look, he was in line for the Euroflex as well, so I reckon he was cooling his heels just in case something else came up.
Very good update, Jack. Thanks so much there from the water's edge.
This is racing unlike we've ever seen before. It's not a usual thing to bring a few substitutions to a regatta if you need them, but they're all being used at the moment, and those Phillips brothers, a formidable 49er team representing Australia. They're actually due to fly out tonight to Spain to compete in a couple of weeks' time on the 49er. Hopefully Sam's still good for that.
Well, I hope so. It looks like this is a great little run from pavement. We can see Dan Morris, the big yank up the front. He's like a power machine.
And pavement seem to have done better than Tech 2 on that bottom half of the course, into second place here at the moment. You see Record Point at the bottom of the picture there, trying to get their boat back together and their crew.
Yep.
As we see Euroflex extending, stretching, and extending their hand towards the Ben Lexcen Trophy right now. They'll want to put as many metres as they possibly can in between them and Tech 2.
Plenty of good stuff all the way here.
And Nathan Outeridge is liking what he's seeing out there.
So you hear from Nathan Outeridge, plenty of good stuff up here. They really like pushing into Steel Point up here on the right-hand side of the track, and it's looking pretty good for them at the moment, and they've got the fleet under control, most of them heading out to the same direction.
So we've seen already that Euroflex is doing so well, but we're not sure what's happening with Cleanmate at this stage. They haven't rounded any of the marks at this point. We will get an update there, but we ride with pavement at the moment. Dan Morris flexing the cannons there, hauling in the bow. Reese Mara behind him, mouth agape, sucking in the big ones. And Tech 2 chasing them down with Steve Thomas on the tiller. A great run for pavement. These guys are in the top 3 in our series leaderboard, so this is a great little run for them.
Nice work, Dan.
Yeah, they've definitely lifted their game today. Sailing much better, much faster. You saw Dan Morris holding the Traveller, Reese on the main, and Steve doing a great job with those buttons in his hand, flying the boat. And no one's doing a better job than that at the moment than Nathan Outeridge. He likes his stuff. He likes to be able to sit up, look around, find the best path upwind, and that's what's made him a world champion sailor, Olympic gold medalist and America's Cup skipper. So he can do one thing with his hands, and he can just have his head on a swivel, look around wherever he wants, connect all the dots better than anyone else.
And we see Tech 2 here in your screen in third position, some 300 metres behind Euroflex. That's not what they want at the moment. They want to be ahead of Euroflex. They're leading this regatta, but given it's Supercharged Sunday, it's double points in the regatta and double points for the regatta win, so it is all to play for at the moment. And ID, they did lead this race at one point. They're currently in fourth, so a massive change of fortune for them.
Yeah, ID not quite getting it together just yet. They had a great first beat, but they seem to have slipped back, and they're just not quite as stable on the foils upwind. Hopefully they can lock that down soon. Here you see Tech 2, Luke Parkinson doing a great job. He knows what's in front of him, and he's into second just by a few metres in front of pavement, so he needs to finish second here to limit the damage on Euroflex.
Surely it's match racing scenario for Tech 2 at the moment. They don't care about anyone else except for the blue bolter, the Euroflex. This is the series leader, but they're not leading this regatta. In fact, it's Tech 2 that have supremacy in Sydney at the moment, so Nathan Outeridge will be keen to land the first blow here in his quest for the first SuperFoiler Trophy here at the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final.
And you see Puff of the Day right up at the top of your screen.
Little puffing and going soft.
Glennie will stay on the wire for this barroway.
Okay, here we go. Okay, wind them on. Copy.
Here we go, pointing the boat at that pressure, waiting to get hit by it, and just carts it down the track. And here we go, in 5 seconds they're going to get absolutely carted by this puff.
We've got a ferry.
Here we go, 20 knots. We've got a ferry to dodge, and there you go, there's the puff. The boat will absolutely light up from 22 knots.
Okay, standing by. Go forward anytime. stay with it, mate.
Almost pointing it into Nielsen Park there, Jimmy, but there's one of the obstacles, the iconic
Here we go.
Sydney Ferry there coming into picture. There are a few landmines out there at the moment.
Yeah, that's one of the tough ones to dodge. You never know if you can go in front or behind it or how the timing's going to work out. And it's these massive lulls that are hurting more than anything. They hope to find these gusts like you see in the top of the screen, but like pavement, sometimes you just get dropped and no wind, and it's hard to dig out of those situations.
Look at that, Tech 2's got ahead of pavement. They're in third, and they've got a nice little battle on their hands. 9 seconds between Tech 2 and pavement at the moment in the quest for seconds. And there are some boats going upside down here. Pavement just got a good look at one.
Out of the bottom. Get the tram up more if you can. Okay.
Awesome shots of Euroflex. Glennie right at home out on the wire there, just trimming that main sheet, managing the twist of the mainsail. He can help fly the boat, but it's largely up to Nathan on those buttons.
He's so far back there, Jimmy. He's virtually behind Nathan Outeridge, channeling his idol, Robbie Nash there, really just surfing the wind there. Superb stuff. Virtually straddling that K&S Transport logo. He's right at the back. Any further back and he'd be off there.
Absolutely, and here's that dangerous jibe. It's so difficult to run through the boat like that. And there you go, the ventilation crashed down, need a reset.
Hold the board. I think we can
Glennie,
just go
big
for
eases on the main.
here and then we'll jibe back.
Well, the strategy unfolds on our leader, Euroflex. Jack, what's happened with CleanMate?
So the CleanMate's got some electrical issues. One of their rudder actuators isn't working, and they need that to work because it's part of the flight control of the boat. So without that, they're a little bit out of sorts and can't go through the ranges. So they're trying to fix it now. We've got our experts on the boat as we speak.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
So, Jack, this is a home regatta for Olivia Price as we see Euroflex buzz the VIP boat. It's a home regatta for her. She won't rest unless she can get back on there, surely.
The day's not over yet. We've got some great guys working on the electronics on the boat, and so far they've been amazingly reliable. So I'd expect them to get that boat back up and running.
Music to our ears, Jack. Thanks for the update. Euroflex sailing onwards.
Yep.
And it's quite a handy lead here ahead of Tech 2. But
Yep, nice.
Jimmy, you know Luke Parkinson well. He'll still rate himself a good chance of winning this race.
Absolutely, and he's not going to be happy right now as pavement just buzzes by on starboard through that middle gate. They're on their way to the bottom, and pavement's absolutely flying ahead of them right now. And Luke knows he needs to get at least second in this place, in this race. So he can't have too many boats between him and Euroflex.
He's going to have some chop here to contend with.
Speed build, please.
Very interesting to see Luke in the 4-point foiling, just fighting for
Okay,
that
stand
stability
by.
downwind.
A little further. 2, 1, driving.
So it's a big ask for Tech 2. They've got 500 metres to them and Euroflex, the series front runner with pavement in between. As we see some flight time, Sammy Newton swings around and he's back on deck. He is a smooth operator for someone that's 6 foot plus.
Yeah, super hard there when the boat just drops from underneath you. You've got to be hanging on to someone or you're just going to get thrown around the front.
Step forward, I can come out.
And we're into Rose Bay here, the Rose Bay mark on almost at our headquarters there for the SuperFoiler headquarters. As Euroflex turn onto the final leg, they're eyeing off another win. It'll be win number 26 for the series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and from here they just got to keep it clean, get it back through the finish line in that middle gate. They're home and hosed for this race, and Tech 2 needs to get into second place. They need to pass pavement by this bottom gate. Looks like they've got a big job to do.
And we can see pavement's really put some distance into Tech 2 on the last leg. They're now in second position, 30 plus seconds behind Euroflex. Where is Tech 2 going to fall in the scheme of things here? Could they run into trouble from ID, who are making a late surge?
ID having actually great drive there on 4 boards. Ed Perry's doing an unbelievable job hanging on the front of that boat.
Well, Ed Powers, he looks like a Greek Adonis, but he's an incredible bowman, so good in the Extreme Series. And look at the height, they're 2 metres tall at the moment.
I've got no left on my lure board at all.
Not sailing smart today.
Tech 2's in third. They've got a minute between them and Euroflex at the moment. It's going to be almost mission impossible for them to try and take this from our series leader.
And Lockie Gilmore is the secret ingredient right here, doing the job that Ian Goobs Jensen would normally do, and probably no bigger shoes in the sailing world to fill than those if you're a crew. And he's doing the challenge really well at the moment.
An incredible job. I'm almost certain that Ian Jensen would be watching this action unfold from Bermuda, where he is right now at the World Moth Championships, watching his teammates get it done in his absence. He'd be having a smile from ear to ear right now.
Yeah, and amazing how calm it looks in that aerial shot, and then you look and see what they see. You see all that pressure in the top right of the screen. They're in the lull of the day right now, and it still looks completely hectic, so really tough conditions out there.
See Cleanmate bobbing around with some assistance to them. Nathan's getting ready for the finish.
Plenty of puffing. Just take it easy from here.
So you hear from now, take it easy. They're in delivery mode. You can see the pin end of the line in the middle of your screen and the boat end up near the motor yachts moored on that eastern boundary.
Nice work, boys. I love it how you didn't know what his name was. Who we sailing with today?
And there it is. They're a third of the way there. Euroflex with the win. And still working out who their teammates are, perhaps, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's musical crew on the front of this boat. Different for every race, but Lockie Gilmore's done an unreal job. And here we are. Nathan Glennie started the campaign, and they're going to try and finish it off today.
I was wondering when we saw Harry Miguel go down if Nathan Outeridge might call on his sister Hayley Outeridge, who's one heck of a NACRA sailor, to fill in for him, but not today. They've gone with Lockie Gilmore as Pavement have thrown down the hammer. They finished second, and they are looking like climbing up that leaderboard in the overall series contention. They've just put Tech 2 on notice with a great finish. They won a race on Friday, and they're heading in the right direction to do it on Supercharged Sunday.
And Steve Thomas is one of the crews that were a little underwhelmed with yesterday, but he's definitely stepped it up today. We know he had a few issues with his boat yesterday, a few issues with the main foils not helping him out on those downwinds, but seems to have it sorted now.
Yeah, I am.
Here we go, Tech 2 doing probably just enough here. They
use
were
the radio, Sam,
the leader of this
and
series.
Get our spares. I don't know. We have electronic failure or problems.
And hearing there from Luke Parkinson, they're also experiencing some teething issues with some tech on the Tech 2 as they cross for third position. You can bet that Reece Talby and co, part of the engineering team working with the high-tech electronics and componentry, will be off to Tech 2 as well, Jimmy.
Yeah, so these boats are basically like a Formula One race car now. They're so high-tech and advanced. We need specialists in the field to look after them. They do an amazing job on the boats every night. And these foil controls, when we're flying the boat with the flight control system, is all electronic. We have buttons next to the board, buttons on the tiller extension and on the tiller bar. So if one of those things isn't working and the actuators on the board aren't moving them back and forward accurately, it can cause absolute disaster. So Luke Parkinson's going to get a little tune-up between races, and I'm sure he'll be back for the next one. And you see ID here just battling away upwind a little bit. Great start from them, but hopefully they can make some improvements in the next race.
Well, it's been a frustrating week for Paul Campbell-James, but that hasn't stopped his daughter, Summer. She's 2 years old, and she's watched every frame of Daddy sailing on some of the most glorious spots around Australia so far, and she's going to witness Dad cross the line in fourth position, keeping his title hopes burning, or at least flickering for now.
Oh, understatement to say we're struggling to get it in the groove, isn't it?
And just conceding from Paul Campbell-James that it's tough stuff out there at the moment.
Can we just have a quick look and see if we've got any water in all of them?
So here they're just struggling to get it in the groove, which means the boat just doesn't feel very free upwind. It feels just a little bound up. So what I think we'll see from CJ in the next start is he's going to start away from the other competitors, give himself some space and just half a chance to just find that groove. He's going to check if he's got some water, double check all the rest of the gear, and hopefully he can sort that out for the next race.
Well, it's carnage out there so far, isn't it? It's almost survival of the fittest, and it's our prancing pony, the thoroughbred that is Euroflex, surviving the scares for now.
I'll be back soon.
And Tech 2, will they be happy with that third position? They survived any major foul or injury there, Jimmy, and they're still in the hunt.
Yeah, look, they'll be happy that record points taken care of a little bit, because they'll be scored a DNS in this race. Record point actually capsizing before they made it over the start line. So that's one boat taken care of Tech 2 that would have been extremely strong in that race. And, you know, they've just got to focus on Euroflex more and more, but they can't let Pavement get too many points on them either. But this next race, they've really just got to go out there, be aggressive, can't be too defensive, because the more you try and limit and control the other boats, the harder everything else becomes. They just got to go out and try and win this next race.
And we can see plenty of work going on here at the moment on board the Tech 2. I'm not sure how the orthodontist of Sam Newton will feel seeing him stick the rope in his teeth there. We might be looking at a postponement, Jimmy. There's a lot on at the moment. We've seen plenty happening with CleanMade. They obviously had some electronic issues, some computer glitches on board there, and we did just spy a bit of activity on Tech 2 as well. Apparently Luke Parkinson wanted a bit of a closer look at some of his gadgetry as well, so we could see them go to a smaller sail setup as well, given the breeze is so up and down. Jack?
Nick, here with Nathan Outeridge, the winner of race 1 on Super Sunday. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. That was full on, and you know, it was good, you know, for Lockie to step it up and get on board with us, and you know, feeling pretty comfortable on board. But you know, there's still plenty of traffic out here and puffy at times. Probably some of the windy stuff we've sailed in, but yeah, it was a good fun race.
It's different conditions to yesterday. Tell us what's going on. What's different?
Yeah, massively different. It's northerly, so it's off the land, super puffy and shifty. Actually, a lot flatter than yesterday and less traffic. But these puffs are the ones you're watching out for, and you know, we got a couple of good screamers down there on starboard all the way to the bottom marks, and you know, we weren't really trying to go for top speeds. We were just trying to keep the boat a few inches above the water and hang on, and we managed to do that.
This is very crossover conditions between the big and little gear. What do you reckon at the moment? What's your gut instinct telling you?
Yeah, it's yeah, we would prefer to be on the small gear. When we first came out here, it was fresh. The forecast was to die. It hasn't died at all. It's actually come up a bit, so you know, we'd be happy on the little main. It just gives you that little bit more control upwind. The boats are sort of staggering upwind. We're fully overpowered. And then downwind, you know, the mains are often stalled because you can't actually get it going. So, you know, we'll see what happens here, but I'm happy to swap the mains if we need to.
Thanks, Nate. Couple more to go. Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a strong couple of 2 races to go, so looking forward to the battle.
Thanks, Nate.
Cheers.
Well, it sure is a battle, but Nathan Outeridge has landed the first couple of blows, and Tech 2's feeling dizzy. Although Pavement isn't shirking away from this challenge, it's the world's most iconic harbour, Sydney Harbour. What a stage it is, Jimmy Wazbowski, for the finest sailors to be at the pinnacle of our series.
Yeah, this is definitely the ultimate proving ground that we have right here. Really windy, shifty day on Sydney Harbour. And, you know, I think if Nathan Outeridge had to order some breeze to fight for the championship, this is probably what he'd order.
Well, so far it's looking good for race 7. Euroflex with the spoils ahead of Steve Thomas on Pavement. Remember, Pavement is in the top 3 on our series. Tech 2 in second in our series, also with a great finish there. And Paul Campbell-James, he's a bit of a long shot for the title, but that result will give him the confidence to keep on going. A bit cruel for Olivia Price there, chalking up a DNF, given she had some tech incidents, I should say, but she'll be back in this one, fingers crossed. And record point, they're searching for a sailor. The regatta leaderboard here in Sydney, Euroflex and Tech 2, now they're all square, all to play for at 37 apiece, with Pavement just 6 points behind them, and record point, that just goes to show how painful that was. That last result for them has really punished them, and all of a sudden ID back in calculation, Jimmy.
Yeah, and this is the battle we need to watch between Euroflex and Tech 2. And it's interesting to see them hinting at possibly going to the small mains, and if they do that, I think it might work into Euroflex's favour. They're possibly a little bit lighter in crew weight than the Tech 2, especially with the Tech 2 having the big Sam Newton back on the bow.
Yeah.
Their weight will be right up there. Record Point would be one of the heavier teams as well, which could have helped their upwind speed yesterday, but interesting to see if we have a main size change and possibly a jib size change as well. It's gusting 21 knots and plenty on out there.
Yeah. I said, look, we're happy to do whatever. Just standing by. If you want to call it for the day, we're also happy.
Interesting to hear that from Nathan Outteridge. He's the master of planting subliminal messages in people's heads, and he said, you know what, we'd be happy to call it.
I'm going to hand over to Cole to officialise that. Over. Roger, Cam. This is the start. Race committee. We are going AP. As Cam has said, you have the choice. Work through Cam as to how you're going to do it. We're going AP now, and we will wait Cam's call to go back into sequence. Out.
And this is what we like to see. So the choice of main sails is sometimes up to the race committee and sometimes up to the sailors. And in this instance, they've said, okay, sailors, you guys do what you want. You want the small main, we'll give you a chance to put it on. If you want the big main, you can do that too. So you can do what suits your crew weight, you can do what suits your style. You heard Paul Campbell-James struggling to get it in the groove. I think we'll see him go to a smaller main.
And Nathan Outteridge has actually called for the race officials to come to the Euroflex. This is some of his best work here. He is the master puppeteer, and he'll be pulling the strings of the race officials here and turning the tide towards Euroflex. Let's listen to what he's going to say to our race officials.
Just wondering what your top wind rating has been today.
We've got 2 races to go, brother.
You want to try and fix this again, or is it not bother?
So the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final's been full of drama. Here's some more.
Our traveller rope is about to go. Do you have any rope to replace the traveller rope? How we do this, I don't really know. Need, yeah, like some 3 mil. Is that...
It also looks like there might be a hole there in their tramp.
Is that 3 mil? It'll come off the blocks, won't it?
As sailors, we're always trying to influence the race committee's decision whatever we can, and interesting to hear Nathan saying, you know, happy if you want to call it for the day if you like.
It's all the way up.
I'm pretty certain that's not going to happen, but if it did, him and Tech 2 are on the same points, and the tiebreaker in that situation is whoever's won the last race, which was Euroflex, and that would give him the championship.
So I will leave
win,
it, it's just lost a few strands.
Sneaky one there from Nathan Outteridge, but
It'll be fine,
all
you
above
reckon?
board in sailors' books, I think.
Well, he's got all the tricks in his book, and he's going to use every single one of them today.
He's got a small nick in his travel line, which he's worried might let go at some point. So I think that's what they're trying to get some rope on to fix now. You can hear Phil Robson in the background having a little chuckle.
Jump on.
He's ready to send
Just
it.
put like a cover over it or something. Yeah, I'll like this.
And Holly Barnett there on race operations. She's got her finger on the
They
pulse.
went to get our main.
And she'll have everyone in the boat park scrambling to get these sailors anything they
No,
need.
not unless we have to. If you force us all to, we will. Do you want to try backing down?
You hear Nate there, we're not going to change unless we get forced to. Yeah, the gusts are big, but the lulls are even bigger. They're seeing down to 10 knots at times, up to 21, 22. So for them, they're going to optimise for the lulls, make sure they have the power there, and then they can just throw the power away when they have too much power.
What was the gust that popped at 22, over?
Well, Pavement, they would have liked the last race. It certainly played into calculations for them. A really handy result brings them closer.
In the lulls you can go, and in the gusts you choke her out and slow down. It's just the upwind tax when it's fucking fresh and it could get a bit scary with the big man.
Yeah, some colourful language to go with the colourful sails on Pavement there.
Yeah, and you're hearing the same tone from the Pavement as the Euroflex. We're going to stay on the big main if we can. The lulls are too big to go down to the small main.
lose so much RM with me like this, pulling the board up.
Oh, you see, that's the longest Dynex drop. Yeah, because it bottoms out on Dynex there.
The other problem they're facing here is when they go to the small main downwind, because they have to sail a faster, hotter angle, which is really painful when you're trying to get down the course of the bottom gate. And his idea is going for a little sail, trying to dial it in.
Look at that, Paul Campbell-James giving some fans a wave. He's the show pony of the Superfoiler circuit. He absolutely loves it. Very Formula One driver, circa 1970, Paul Campbell-James. Absolutely loves the antics of it all. He's always got time for people. And he just loves the theatrics around racing on gorgeous venues like Sydney Harbour in summer.
Yeah, not too much chat from these guys. They're just ready to go racing. CJ knows it's probably snowing back in England at the moment, so he's enjoying his time in the Aussie sunshine, I think.
He was actually saying that the other day, Jimmy, that he was a little homesick because it was snowing back home. And he was in the sun, and his daughter was playing outside in the snow for the first time.
Stay out for a minute, just keep it consistent.
I said, easy solution, CJ, just bring her here next time. She'll get a good Aussie summer. So, problem solved.
Absolutely, best of both worlds. And just working on this 4-point foiling, trying to increase the stability of the boat downwind and help the boat get down the track instead of just doing lots of zigzags as they work their way downwind. And the breeze seems to be a bit lighter at the moment. It's down to 8 to 13 knots. We're still seeing those enormous 30-degree shifts, which are going to be what stitches you up as you go downwind.
Oh, and that is a nasty one. Paul Campbell-James goes splashing down on the main, and Fang Warren slaps into Ed Powies. That's gotta hurt.
I got my toe strap if anyone wants it.
And he's got his toe strap in his gob. He's gone flying there.
Well, CJ, a tip from me, better to have your toe strapped than to lose your knee. That's probably a good outcome in my book, but that's 2 capsizes from Paul Campbell-James today. Good to see everyone's all right, having a joke. That's starting to become standard issue in these boats.
Oh, it's the end of the season. It's the grand final, and weariness is setting in. And that's a souvenir for his daughter Summer. His foot strap from Sydney Harbour. If I know Paul Campbell-James, he'll be half tempted to jump on a mega yacht and call that a day.
We're definitely on the bottom, yeah. We're definitely on the bottom.
Yeah, their mast bouncing on the bottom. You're going to have to work really quickly to get this boat back upright and limit the damage.
I'm going up to get the right line.
And there's race operations back on scene. They're working overtime today. The boys in the boat park would have thought, you know what, it's the end of the year, we're home and hosed. And the sailors are just giving them a bit of a parting present at the moment.
Get some good readings for the G meter.
There's definitely no time to relax on these boats. You can't lose concentration or the boats will just bite back instantly and throw you off just like that.
Jack, these boat builders will be absolutely wondering what's going on out there. Tell us what's happening.
Well, I think the boat builders are okay. I think it's more the sailors that we're worried about here. They just keep tipping it in, but everyone's on board's okay, and they're about to pull it up. As you can see, they're getting the tow line back on, which will right the boat back up, and in a couple of minutes they should be back upright.
They were 4-point foiling there at one stage, absolutely loving it. They're looking sharp out there, Jack?
Yeah, I think the thing about today is that it's so up and down in the pressure. So we're going from 8 knots to 20 knots now. I was just talking to the race officer, and we're getting lighter spots and still getting those 20 knot puffs. So really tricky conditions, and obviously they just got one wrong.
I think
I'm surprised that Ed Powies isn't trying to haul it up himself. I had a look at his DEXA body scan, and the
I think we're on the bottom, so if they tow us that way, it's going to be bad.
Is a massive unit, as you can see there.
So what they need to do here is connect one powerboat to one line which tows it sideways, which will bring it back upright, and the other boat will pull it from the bow, trying to keep it into the wind and nice and stable. But as you heard CJ say, the mast is on the bottom. just checking the depth of Sydney Harbour, and they've found that out, so they need to be very careful which direction they tow the boat upright, because you could snap the mast if you went the wrong direction. Very delicate, this one.
Well, Paul Campbell-James might have hooked his first fish here, a bit of an Australia. He's got the mast on the bottom there, and well, this will be a really delicate task. They want to keep racing here. And Nathan Outeridge and the boys on Euroflex must be wondering, what do we have to do to win this SuperFoiler Grand Prix? We've had every challenge in the book thrown at us, and now they've got yet another delay to contend with. It must be so hard to switch on, switch off, and enter go mode when the siren clicks in.
Yeah, this is really proving that this series is not going to be over until it's absolutely over, until you cross that finish line, because you can capsize at any moment, and you've got to be so careful. We've had 2 capsizes from Phil Robertson, 2 capsizes from ID. We've had a man overboard on Euroflex. So you've really got to have your wits about you today, and you can't relax, you can't lose concentration.
Well, Tech 2's the only one in the clear at the moment. They've had a good day of it so far, as we see the boys having a bit of a dip here in Sydney Harbour with the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House in the background. There are worse places to go swimming, that's for sure.
So the boat's starting to come up right now, and you see them getting lower and lower in the water, and they've got to try and hang on to something. And here you end up swimming after the boat as the boat starts to come upright, and once it does flip back upright, someone's got to be there to grab the tiller, stop the boat just sailing away and capsizing again. So really tough situation this, but they're starting to get it up right now.
Paul Campbell-James has still got a smile on his face. He's got 2 of the best athletes in the series alongside him. Fang Warren, a wonderful rugby player from Perth, who'll be looking to bench press the ID back into the sky here at the moment.
Yeah, and you see the sail there just starting to float on top of the water. And if we can get a little bit of wind under that sail, then it'll just catch it and flick it straight back up.
Right on cue, Jimmy. She's back upright, and the laughs aren't far behind. And look, I don't want to deter anyone, but on the SuperFoiler app, we do have a competition where you can go for a ride on the SuperFoiler. So if you download the app and enter the competition on our SuperFoiler app, you can go for a ride with Paul Campbell-James, Fang Warren and Ed Powies. And, well, I can't promise anything, but they will try and keep you dry.
Yeah, I'm sure that ride will be nice and safe, and they'll still get you a bit of fly time as well. So we're learning all the mistakes now.
And we've got a side story playing out amongst all this action on camera, and that is the trials and tribulations of Cleanmates Tech. Jack, you're with Olivia, I understand.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So, Liv, tell us what's been going on. You missed that race?
Yeah, unfortunately, we just lost rudder buttons about a minute and a half before the start. And yeah, we were trying to go up the beat, just didn't really have control. Not quite sure what was going on. We got it back maybe by the time we kind of cruised up to the top mark. So not quite sure what was going on. We had Reece Tailby on board, who's working with the electronics team. So he looked through it, and there's not much you can really do out here on the water. So we're just going to keep going and see how long it holds in for. Maybe it was just a little glitch, or maybe there's something else. But hey, we're going to go racing the next one.
Tell us what it's like if you don't have the rudder controls full stop. What is that? What's the effect of that?
Well, we were on full lift with the rudder, so we would be really out of balance going downwind, especially. I think with the board control, we would just we'd be skying all the time and just planting the bow. And if we're doing that in a really big puff, we saw 22 knots out there. I think it would be really out of control. So we definitely wanted to have control of those rudders especially.
So at the moment it's working, so you're just going to get out there and have a crack, basically?
Yeah, exactly. I'll let them know if I don't have anything. The boys were like, what is going on here? But yeah, just for some reason lost it in both tillers. So, we're just going to go out, and if it stops working again, I'll make sure that they know.
Do you think the effects of double points is getting in everyone's head? Because everyone's capsizing and carrying on. I've seen you sail in more breeze than this.
Yeah, this is carnage. I think I think being the grand final, everyone wants to push limits, and there is a lot of variation in this breeze. At least 10 knots in the puffs and the lulls of differential. So I think when that hits you, and if you're not ready for it, it's going to cause some major carnage. So it's been action packed out here so far. So we've got 2 more races to go. Who knows what's going to happen?
What are you expecting the breeze to do?
I think it's just going to keep pulsing. The sun's come back out a little bit. I think we'll see a bit of an increase. So just hold on.
Good luck, Liv.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
So Olivia Price was probably appreciating the work of ID there, buying her some more time, a bit of a stall out there. And she was saying Reece Talby's managed to get back on there, do the tweaks that were required. And the computer part of the SuperFoiler is about the size of a woman's handbag, Jimmy. So it's not a big piece of kit. It's cutting edge, it's high tech, and they have managed to fix it, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, really interesting insights there from Olivia. Just as she said, we have, rather than yesterday where we had lots of little gusts and lulls and it was very manageable, today we've got very big gusts and lulls with big areas of pressure. So half the course will be in the gust and half the course will be in the lull. And when you don't have those rudders, we have about 4 degrees of rudder range and we have about 8 degrees of main fore range. So as you're coming into the top mark, you're going to start taking off some rudder lift and increasing some main fore lift, and then you turn the corner and you have a nice stable turn and you can fly downwind. But if your rudders are stuck on full lift, and you're going to have to go full main fore lift, and that can just trip you over as you turn the corner. It's extremely dangerous. The two really do need to work together. The main foil can't really go without the rudder. So that's what the skippers will be doing. They're controlling both elements at once. And if one element goes out of control or we have a glitch, it can be absolutely catastrophic. So good to see making a smart decision there. You have to have faith in the system, but she's going to get out there and take on this next race, which is good to see.
Well, this delay is also shaping up nicely for Record Point. They lost Sam Phillips due to injury, and he's been given, I guess I should say that the Record Point team are given a bit of a reprieve here, a bit more time to try and find a replacement for Sam, and it could well be his brother, Jimmy.
Yes, I know they're trying to bail up Will Phillips, who was racing on the Bauer Tech 2 yesterday. He's an incredible 49er skipper, and he's proven his worth on the Tech 2 yesterday, doing some amazing results. But yeah, hopefully the Record Point can get their substitution and get back into the next race, because I know that they've got a lot of potential in this breeze. Phil's really got some good speed upwind and downwind, and he's nice and stable most of the time. If he can get it off the line, he's going to be dangerous.
Well, we're not in Tuscany at the moment, though we could well be. Look at the view there. That wouldn't be a bad place to watch some super foiling, watching the world's best zip past on Euroflex. And I'm sure the celebrations on Sydney Harbour won't be far away from our winning team. Here's Record Point. Looks like there's only 2 on there at the moment. Still need a third to get going. Although you're probably back Phil Robertson to sail 2 up at the moment. He's in such good form, isn't he?
Seems like there's one of the pro guarding guys on the boat at the moment. I'm not sure on his sailing skills. He might.
What do you want, mate? I can't hear you.
And
do we need to climb the rig?
The race committee is our intention to hoist the warning signal at 15:10. We'll have a start at 15:13. We are on course number 2.
We're like 8 minutes to a start time, boys.
This is awesome. So I think we've got Brandon, one of the
I'm happy to climb, mate.
from the series.
Yeah, it's Brandon Burrick there. He's a real character, does a lot of 18-foot skiff sailing, and he's already climbing.
Okay. I don't mind going,
on Neil Hunter. What an entrance.
We'll go maybe just on this tack.
This is unreal. So they're trying to fix some trap lines up really high.
All right, yeah. He's pretty poached, eh?
Saw Brandon up on Neil Hunter's shoulders.
I mean,
Phil's going to try and climb the rig.
Phil's not going to add much height up here if he's on both of their shoulders, I don't think.
It's a bit dodgy, eh?
Yeah, it's fucking dodgy. If I push this bound line like this, is that all right?
How I can go.
Oh, look at him scramble up there. He's going for coconuts, Phil Robertson. Fearless. It's like a slippery pole contest at the moment, and he's holding on for dear life.
So you can see the trap hook in the very top of the screen. That's how high he's going to go.
You can leave it to Lewin.
If he can get a hand to the spreader, he'll be able to stand on that and grab the trap wire. They can't go racing without that, basically.
This is incredible. He's like a gorilla scrambling up the up there to get his food. Look at him go.
So this is option A. Option B would be capsizing the boat, which they've already done twice and won't be keen to do
Not sure about
again.
these light boots, eh?
The wet boot's not working so well on the rig.
Oh, go, Phil. Oh, he's got nerves of steel.
If we can slow the boat down, it would be nice.
And what comes up must come down, and Phil's just made that realisation.
Fuck, I can't get over it.
Oh, this is classic.
Well, at least he's got all the safety gear on for climbing a rig, but this is some thrill-seeking
I'm
stuff
a
we've
little bit
got
worried
here.
about break. The spreader.
Well, look at that. That's leadership, isn't it? The other boys were trying to
Slow's good
piggyback
over.
up there, and he's just gone, you know what, I'll do it myself. And time's ticking, Phil.
Phil Robertson just absolutely lives and breathes racing. He will do anything to get back on this start line.
Well, he's got a bit of support there now. He's got one leg either side.
He's only 75 kilos, so I'm sure the spread is the load rate for him. That won't be a problem, but the trapeze wire in that capsize is just going to be all tangled up in the top of the rig.
What did you do, Neil?
He's got to get it untwisted here, back down to the lads so they can hook up and trapeze upwind.
Jimmy, have you got Phil's number? I need some windows cleaned on the second floor.
I think he's free from tomorrow.
I don't know if I can.
Well, if he can get down, he might have himself a bit of a cash-paying job here, I think. Look at that, the telltales.
Hey, Neil, slow boat's real good, eh?
Wisping away.
Even
So-
dihedral to windward, if you can go backwards.
We've got a big problem here. The
Go
trap
slow
wires,
and backwards is all good.
And they're building a bit of speed here.
it's very tangled in the forestay.
So I can
there,
hold the rotator.
Well, I heard Tom Cruise
Oh,
is
just help me
looking
to
for a
get back there.
stuntman, and I know Phil Robertson's about the same size as Tom, so he could find work after the SuperFoiler series.
And remember, these masts are about 44 feet high, so
Guys, if someone can hold the rotator.
he's at least 22 feet in the sky right now. On a boat that's obviously bouncing around on the water.
Gosh, he's got nerves of steel. The crazy Kiwi.
Ah.
This is unreal. And the
It's
record
like tied
point,
itself up there, eh?
Well, the running repairs on record point continue. Jack, who are you
It's
with?
got a hitch.
Steve Thomas, that's a much better result. You happy with that? Yeah, much happy with that one. Yeah, I finally got the boat going upwind and managed to keep the pace on around the track and take a second and double points. Yeah, happy. So you're seeing red. You can take the win. Yeah, no, we got to do a bit more. We got to beat Nathan, obviously, and we need Phil to keep the boat upright so he can slot in between the two of them. But yeah, no, happy with how it's going, and these are our conditions. So we'll keep pushing hard and we'll see how it plays out. What are you doing differently from yesterday? Because you had a tough day yesterday and you looked in a much better mode upwind and downwind today. Yeah, look, just a bit of a different setup. Just changed our technique a bit, and to be honest, there's not a lot. We just didn't have a great day, and some days you don't, and some days you do. So we're feeling good today, and we'll just do much of the same, keep the process going. What did you change in your technique? We're going less aggressive with our foils now, a bit more aggressive with our trim and weight. We were sort of with the lump yesterday. I think we were ventilating quite aggressively and upwind, and today it seems to be a bit more smoother. Not as smooth as we'd like it, but it's better. So less adjustment of the foils and more about trim of the sails and steering and body weight. Yeah, body weight 4.5 in the boat helps with the pitch. These boats are light and they're like a dinghy in that response. So we're just staying out of the straps and just sending it hard. Very nice, Steve. Good luck. Thank you.
Steve Thomas on pavement. He's in third position in the series at the moment and still spying a sniff at the overall as we see. Phil Robertson is 3/4 of the way up a 5-story main at the moment, and at the moment he's going from distance, and gosh, this is really gutsy stuff, heart in your mouth stuff here. He's fearless. He's a former teammate of yours. You guys won the World Match Racing circuit together. Have you ever seen Phil do something like this on a boat?
I knew that he loved to challenge, but this is a challenge I haven't seen him take on before. Neil's really stitched him up here, getting that trap wire completely tangled around the forestay, but this is just one of Phil Robertson's many skills. He's good for heaps, and he's got the boat hook up the rig there. This is incredible stuff.
He just loves sailing, doesn't he?
Don't touch anything, boys. Don't touch that, mate. There's trap lines.
He's just doing anything to get back out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I know the Record Point and China One Ningbo sponsors will be looking on, hoping he gets it down and hoping he gets down uninjured.
Still quite a long way off here, eh?
So you can see the line goes from, all three trapezes are connected to the same line, and then one of them, the one that Neil Hunter was on, has gone around the forestay and back inside. So he's trying to get one individual hook up over the top of that forward wire and then back down to the buoys.
When you guys were sailing together, was Phil constantly poring over archival videos of MacGyver?
Not that I've seen, but maybe in his own time. He's got a love of heights. I don't think he's been bungee jumping or skydiving yet, but I might have to sign him up after this effort.
Look at that. I mean, Neil Hunter, who's at the stern there, he's 6'2" plus, and look how much further Phil Robertson is than him. I mean, this is brazen stuff here. This is fabulous.
This is a great reason to have a small
skipper. Literally tied a knot around the forestay, brother.
I can't wait to see Phil's dismount here. Is he going to do the dive, or is he going to scurry the same way he came up?
He might channel a little bit of the Alex Thompson mast walk to exit off the rig.
He's really earning his crust today, Phil Robertson, isn't he? Look at that. I must remember to put the cookie jar up a little further next time Phil's around, because he's going to stop at nothing to get into the goodies today. It's almost mission complete here.
That is unbelievable. He's going to get this sorted. They're going to be back in the next race.
Just needs to go around the side stand. We're good, right? Yeah.
All he's got to do is keep the pointy end up in this next one and he'll be good.
Amazing stuff from Phil Robertson. What about that?
Yeah.
And, well, he's just submitted his audition tape to the fireman after that pole slide.
Give me this thing. Yeah, that's better.
That is a jack of all trades right there. That's unbelievable. Nice work, Phil Robertson, going the extra yard to get them back in this next race.
And Brandon Burick there, he's an accomplished
We'll get Corey
sailor.
off, eh?
He's gone sailing in the Hamo Island week. He's done so well on the skiff sails. He'll be a natural out there.
A painful climb, eh?
And Corey, the man from Bondi Rescue, ready for anything. Pro guarding expertise on board in case anything goes wrong. And Brando on the big stage here.
Nice one, mate. Thanks for that, brother. Bondi to the rescue, eh? How good?
Well, I wonder if Brandon Burick had a chance to update his Tinder page before he jumped on board, because he's in all the gear. He's on a Superfoiler. This will do wonders for him.
This is an unbelievable opportunity for him. He was only telling me yesterday that they've been so flat out working on the boats at every single event. He really thought he'd be able to do more sailing on the boats, and here's his chance. Time to shine. Last two races of the series, all to play for.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. What an opportunity for Brandon Burick to go and sail with the Record Point boys. Euroflex is going to be the Superfoiler to catch, though. She's cooled her heels for the last half an hour, and she'll be ready to go here, Jimmy.
Absolutely, the halftime entertainment's over. We're going to be back into racing here in no time.
Because we're going to try and hand over to Cole and get another race away. I've got Record Point already. Euroflex.
Yeah, Cam, this is Euroflex.
And we can see ID here at the moment. They did have that nasty turtle before, and they'll be scrambling to try and dry off absolutely every element to get back racing again. But whether or not that's possible remains to be seen. Record Point look like they're good to go. CleanMade look like they're good to go. Tech 2 and Euroflex are clear. Will ID make it?
Yeah, so when these boats go completely upside down, we call that going turtle, and that's when the boat can really fill up with some water. So you saw the lads there trying to bail it out, make the boat as light as possible to help it foil as much as possible, and hopefully they can make this next one and don't have too many technical issues.
Jimmy, it looks like that sea state starting to kick up a little bit too. Sydney Harbour in the afternoon, things start changing.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit more traffic in the afternoon here possibly, but hopefully down in Rose Bay between Shark Island and Steel Point can stay nice and calm. Everyone's anchored on the boundaries and we can let these boats do their thing.
Well, there's nothing better than seeing the SuperFoiler at full stretch, but to do that, you've got to get all the elements right. A bit of bailing going on there. So obviously some water in that central hull.
So we're hearing that the breeze is easing, and as Pavement mentioned before, they want as many boats on the racetrack as possible. They need record point, they need ID, because if Pavement can win a race, get 2 boats between them and Tech 2 or Euroflex, and they can really jump up the standings. And if we lose ID here, then Pavement's going to be hurting there, because they need those boats to slot in between to get those extra points back.
The warning signal will be at 15.22. The start will be at 15.25.
Give me an idea of the psyche of Nathan Outridge. I mean, right now he's came into this race with so much pressure on the final day of the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final. It was all on his shoulders, and he came out firing, he came out swinging, he did everything he needed to do. He got the win early, and now he's just spent the last half an hour just wondering what next.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he has got so much expertise in the world of sailing. He's been to 3 Olympics. He's got a gold, he's got a silver, he's skippered 2 America's Cup campaigns, and he's the high-performance master. You know, he's a Mothboard champion as well. He's almost pioneered a lot of the foiling designs and techniques that we see today. He's always been on the front of the curve for about 5 or 10 years now, just developing the sport. And when he gets thrown conditions like this, 30-degree shifts, 10, 15, 20 knots of breeze, he absolutely loves it. That's where he's always excelled. His ability to make the boat go as fast without paying any attention to it is uncanny. The boat basically looks like it sails itself. And he just looks around and goes, oh, there's a gust over here, gust over there. This is the way I'm going. And that's the difference between him and a lot of other sailors.
More main, please. Ease. Coming down below these guys. Okay, we'll just simmer down here, boys. Wait in.
So Brando's jumped on the main here.
And let's fix your leeward line now, mate.
And this is Shark Island. It's a beautiful attraction here. It plonked in the middle of Sydney Harbour, and it's our headquarters where we're watching all the action unfold, and a fair few others as well, including a couple of skippers too. These are skippers of a different kind. These are the men piloting our drones. I reckon they've got the best job out here on Sydney Harbour today, Jimmy.
Yeah, look, they're getting an awesome view, aren't they? And we're going to see a 2-lap race here. And Phil Robson getting Brando on board. He's a great 18-foot skiff sailor, but their manoeuvres might be a little bit ropey here. So Phil's going to look to square it out, do as little tacks and jibes as he can, and just really try and use his speed in this one.
So with time slipping away here, Jimmy, it's going to be crucial for the sailors to get some good results as we take a look at the sold-out VIP experience today. Not a seat in the house, and they've certainly got their money's worth so far. Plenty of drama here on the Rose Bay end of the circuit.
Absolutely. We're seeing the ID's got a problem with their boom. We saw that in that capsize, CJ landed on the main, so not sure if something's happened there, but the boom is what connects the mast to the back of the sail, and if that's broken, then it's quite a major issue. So ID might not make this start. They've only got 2 minutes, and you know that's going to be a big game changer for this race.
And we can see a dog as well. What a sea dog that is, looking at the action there on board Record Point. Superb. Jack, who are you with?
I don't have anyone with me, Nick, but I can give you an update on the ID. They've broken the boom end pin, which connects to the mast. So Zach, our trusty boat builder, has taken that in to shore, and we'll have it back out for the last race of the day.
So they're going to have to cool their heels for race number 2. There's no chance that they'll be out there?
Yeah, that's right, Nick. They won't be able to race in this one, unfortunately.
What do you rate their chances of being back on the water for the final event of the season?
8 out of 10. That'd be my guess.
Gee, they're good numbers, Jimmy. 8 out of 10.
They're good numbers, absolutely. And a minute 15 to go in this race, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here between Tech 2 and Euroflex. This is a race to watch. They're on even points right now. 2 races to go. Pressure's definitely on.
And with time slipping away, I wonder if Nathan Outteridge is thinking maybe this is the last one of the day. This is crucial that they get the W in this one, because this could be the final one on the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final. So winning is everything.
Absolutely, and a massive mental shift here. We've got 5 to 11 knots, not 10 to 20. So very, very different race. Going to have to stay on different configurations, different target speeds. So they've really got to change their mindset over now.
And a round of applause for the on-water logistics team to have Clean Made back in racing and to have Record Point back in this one. That is a superb effort from everyone involved and just what the spectators want.
Absolutely, 18 seconds to go. Everyone up the boat into the start line on starboard. Breeze could have shifted further right here. 10 seconds to go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
And they're all the way, including ID at the back of your picture as well. I wonder if they're going to give themselves a chance in this one. We see it's Record Point making an instant impact. And Clean Made at the pointy end as well.
Record Point and ID are individual.
I think we might have a few OCS boats here. That means they have to do 2 tacks.
So it looks like Euroflex and Clean Made slipped over early there, which is going to really open the floodgates for Tech 2.
So all boats except Record Point and ID were OCS. That means we're seeing these 2 quick tacks from everyone.
We can tack.
And Phil Robertson has not taken advantage of that situation. He's been a little bit shafted here. Clean Made's off and ripping already.
And the chaos continues here on the Sydney waterways. More drama yet again. All over the line there, spare Phil, and Phil hasn't really put the knife in.
Unbelievable start there, and Clean Made's off to a really good one, heading out to the left, but Euroflex, such a nice lane through the middle there, high, a little bit faster. They're just keeping it simple, and they've got it really locked down at the moment.
Can't see them. I've got everyone.
And Olivia Price is certainly feeling the pressure at the moment. But she skips through unscathed. We've got Euroflex in the lead ahead of Pavement with Clean Made in third.
Good decision from Clean Made there to get out early, clear air out to the right-hand side of the track. Looks very light where they are at the moment.
Well, she's doing exactly what she needs to do at the moment, Euroflex. She needs to stay in front and just mind her own business, keep Tech 2 behind her, and mission achieved so far. Euroflex in the lead, 70 odd metres ahead of Clean Made. Pavement third and Tech 2 fourth.
Bad waves here, slow turn. Okay, here we go now.
And let's not forget that Nathan Outteridge has a few equipment issues of his own. So it's a case of nursing the boat to an extent here, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's always a tough battle to see how much you push the gear and how much you need to push the race. And he's doing a great job at the moment. I think he's got the whole fleet underneath him, and they're just nicely covering the fleet. So they've got to head through the middle gate and then up to the windward gate where they'll turn to go downwind. And it's a 2-lap race. It's a long way to go. Really stable here from the boys. Lockie and Glenn on the front of the boat doing a great job. Nath, right hand on the buttons, playing the flute, flying absolutely perfectly there.
Going for the 3-point foil option here, Euroflex, as they leave Shark Island astern at 15 odd knots.
Unless we get a big righty.
You hear that, got us laying unless we get a big righty, so that means he's laying that middle gate. Unless they get a big righty.
Looks like good pressure to bear away in here.
And Glenn Ashby, the America's Cup winner, really working the sheet.
So they're on their way to the top gate here where they'll turn downwind.
Okay, I'm going in.
And they were 3-stringing there, just getting so much weight out.
Just be careful how much weight we have out when we do this.
Lockie in, Glennie will...
Trim it on if you
coming
can,
as
trim
well
it on.
for this bearway. Must be very light winds.
Yep.
So Euroflex in the lead, they turn first. And they've got daylight between them and anyone else, Jimmy, with ID retiring.
Absolutely, they've gone one and in here to the top mark, and all that pressure in the top of the screen is what they're chasing.
So for Tech 2, this is crucial. They've got to get up quickly and close in on the series front runner if they want to have any hopes of taking this championship from them.
There you see Euroflex hitting that puff and getting absolutely carted down the track. Looks like the right-hand side of the track is pretty good at the moment, and such a tight battle here between Pavement, Tech 2 and Record Point. And Tech 2, they're the ones that really need to limit the damage here. They have to finish second in this race if they want a chance at Euroflex.
Yeah, they've got to stop the bleeding, Luke Parkinson. He's got to get that up and plunder some distance. There's just not much wind out there at all.
Cleanmate doing an amazing job rounding second in this race.
Thinking attacking here, okay?
This is the most frustrating part of sailing sometimes.
Not going straight.
So much energy, so much excitement to go race and send it, and then suddenly no wind. You have to be graceful, you have to be slow and smooth.
Go 3 point here. Okay, ready for my knees.
Amazing Euroflex in the middle of your screen, just getting carted across the screen at 20 knots or more on the foils.
And Steve Thomas going the same side as Euroflex, who've got about a minute over Cleanmate with Tech 2, Record Point and Pavement behind.
Cleanmate doing a really nice job heading out towards Shark Island here, but Euroflex 250 metre lead.
Great picture there. They're almost all up on those foils, and Record Point, incredible effort for them to get back on the line here. 2 first place finishes yesterday and a second. It's been a different day today, but a great scramble from the World Match Racing Champion Phil Robertson as they line up one of the fast ferries at the moment.
Yeah, and Phil, 3-point foiling doesn't seem to be working at the moment. He likes to sail the boat fast and a little more distance, but I think the other boats are doing slightly better with all their foils down.
Why am I doing this?
And Tech 2's just squeezed over the top of Cleanmate at the moment, so Tech 2's in second. She's eyeballing Euroflex and bringing in the gap there to them. So it's a great pace build from Luke Parkinson, Sam Newton and Aidan Menzies, with Euroflex just ahead at the moment, just doing enough.
And here we go, Tech 2's going to come good here. They've got pressure, and it looks like they might be into second place with Euroflex there. They've got the pressure in the middle of the screen, and you can see Cleanmate in the middle of your screen there, just wallowing in no wind, and all that puff on the top right-hand side. It's an absolute minefield out there at the moment.
Ease crab, please, I think. We're just really stalled. Too much. Ease, lift off this board.
Yeah, got to get through the start
Bit more.
line though.
So Luke on the tiller doesn't have control of that wind.
Okay, I've got rake working again. I got it working again.
And a few teething issues with his rake control here as well.
Oh, sorry boys, I got Game Boy problems.
And saying he's got some Game Boy
Waiting,
problems, referring
really
to the
struggling
electronics.
on the button tip. Mate, no, we're good. Just wait out, please. I think less touch of buttons is good because I know it's. I think when you touch one, it does a fault.
So really frustrating here with
wicked
these
pressure coming.
Technical issues.
Got to be patient here, guys. Here we go.
Puff of the day down that cliff shore. You can see right in front of them. That's where he's heading.
Okay, here we go. Got to go all the way here. Taking off.
Pavement have just slipped through past Tech 2 there, and Record Point making some money down this shoreline.
Nice job.
A beautiful jibe there from Phil Robertson and his trio as we see Pavement lighted up at the moment. They're in second. And listen to the high-pitched purr of the SuperFoiler.
And Record Point have slipped past Tech 2. This is Pavement. They're in second place at the moment. Really tight battle going on for that second spot at the moment.
And Euroflex, this is the dream scenario for the dream team at the moment. Tech 2's in fourth. They're in first. That's the kind of cushion they want. As Nathan Outeridge and Glenn Ashby Lockie Gilmore head towards Point Piper.
Yeah, they're really stable here. All foils down. Hear that going all the way down here.
Yeah.
And here's the record point in a tight battle with Tech 2.
Ease main.
And Clean Made back in the mix here.
Main
So
on a little. Sorry, lads.
massive snakes and ladders out there at the moment, Nick.
Yeah, Tech 2's just gone back into third position, still chasing Pavement and Euroflex, and Pavement have found a nice little bit of pressure, and Steve Thomas, the wind whisperer, is just whispering sweet nothings at the moment and has Pavement going along nicely.
Full crash.
Not sure. Wait forward.
Yeah, it's a really nice mode from Pavement there, and coming into more pressure.
Can we take one lift off that windward board?
I think they're going to take some more meters out of Clean Made and Tech 2 and extend their second place position.
Keep leaning hard. Easing everything, it's still low soft.
And there you go, Pavement, they've
Keep
pulled
leaning,
almost 300
boys.
meters.
Leaning, yeah. Shoulders hard, we still need lean.
Steve Thomas sounds so relaxed in Adelaide, Geelong, the Gold Coast,
Take
even
one
his
more click
home
off that
race
board.
in WA. He was a little nervous at times, but today he's captain cool and has it dialed in.
Really nice setup here, 200 Ps, shoulders back, traveller down, good main ease, good jibbies, making good money down the track here.
Throwing down some good numbers and really taking the challenge to Euroflex at the moment. They're going to have to go up a gear, and they do.
Anyway. Go, board. Stay with it, mate.
Let's not forget Nathan Outeridge and Glenn Ashby are without their mainstay bowman, Ian Jensen.
So this is where
Go with
Nathan
it if
makes...
you can. Oh, you're right.
This is where he makes all his money, gets the bottom of the track. He already knows what's happening up the course. He knows which way to go. He knows where the wind is.
Okay, so let's go board up.
And he knows the challenge is coming from Pavement here. They'll have to be nearly perfect on this leg if they want to keep that distance. Because Steve Thomas found something out of nothing there. He turned the last gate in fourth. He turns this one in second. And they're on a split.
That's an awesome downwind from Pavement there, taking so many meters. They did so well. And if they can get ahead of Euroflex, they're going to have one boat between him and the Tech 2. That's exactly what he needs.
You might be able to take it inside the jib or something.
Clean Made whizzes past towards the second gate. There's just 20 seconds between Euroflex and Pavement at the moment. It's a great little match race.
You go first.
So Nathan liking the left-hand side in towards that Rose Bay area.
Just maybe stay sitting in, Lockie.
But at the moment, it's Pavement that have got the better ride time. Look at them go. Barely falling behind the seaplane that was landing there. These guys are taking off.
So here they're trying to line up that middle gate, get one tack to lay through that middle gate and then up to the top gate.
And a great board drop from Dan Morris there, just squeezing the last bit through.
Just leaving it all out on the track today, doing a massive effort from Dan Morris there.
Well, he was saying these two are like brothers. Reese and Steve are like brothers to him. He's an American, and he's found two hombres here in Sydney that he's going to call lifelong friends. The lay of the land is this: Euroflex on top, Pavement second, Tech 2 third. Nothing between Record Point and Clean Made at the moment on different sides of the course.
We've got a big split there between Record Point, Tech 2 and Clean Made, so we're going to see a massive gain or loss, I imagine, when they converge at the middle gate. One side will be significantly better than the other.
Here we go. Euroflex and Pavement are on different sides at the moment. Who's made the better pick, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've got a bit more to come. It's just no speed.
Look, Pavement at the moment are doing pretty well up that right-hand shore. Euroflex seem to be struggling there for speed. Pavement working a bit nice at the moment. Down to 10 metres, so Pavement's making all the money at the moment. They've just taken the lead.
Well, for Pavement, they split in Geelong. It was the race they had in their hands, and they went the wrong way at the last gate. Let's hope they've gone the right way this time. The Goldfinger ready to pull through and hit the target here in Sydney.
There you go, the cross in front of Euroflex there, and they're going to tack to cover. The problem there is they may be doing one extra manoeuvre here, Pavement, so Euroflex might take a chunk of metres out, do this extra manoeuvre that Pavement's having to do.
Great work there from Dan Morris. It's one of the most physically exhausting rolls on the SuperFoiler. Getting
nice
that
work, Dan.
board
Hold
up.
that.
And Steve likes what he sees and even passes on some encouragement.
It's going to need...
Awesome work from Dan, trimming that foil with his front left toe, stepping on the button, getting it ready for the next tack.
Tremendous athlete, Dan Morris. He's got hardly any body fat according to the DEXA body scan, and it was so impressive to see how much muscle was in his legs, Jimmy, and putting his legs to good use there.
It's not too bad. I think we go all the way. It's soft on our inside. Steve's still on our hip. It is down, so when we do get a good moment, he will go. I'm happy any time, Lockie.
So Nathan Outeridge so conscious of where Steve Thomas is on the track relative to him. He's on his hip. And he's going to shoot from the hip here, Steve Thomas. Look at this.
Go all the way to the right.
So Euroflex has rights here. Pavement has to keep clear. Euroflex just crossing.
Pavement taking it right to the edge. This is a glorious little effort from them.
And we saw the steel point corner here pay last beat, so Pavement's getting a little further in there, and this may pay dividends by the time they get to the top mark.
Steve Thomas and Reese Mara have spent the most flight time on the SuperFoilers. They perfected sailing it on these waters. If they know any of the mystery puffs, they'll locate them quickly. But Euroflex, they're three-stringing at the moment. They've got it wicked up. They're absolutely scoring pay dirt here at the moment over Tech 2, who are in third position.
Pavement need to win this race because they need to get Euroflex between them and Tech 2. That's where they can make the real points on the scoreboard.
Tech 2 looks like they're going to thread the needle here. No, they decide against it.
And we're seeing as they get into this point, it becomes very cliffy, very steep, and the wind just seems to compress down that shoreline. Much better than that Shark Island side of the course as you approach the top mark.
Slightly different.
I got any time, mate.
And Lockie Gilmore will be almost urging Pavement on. He spent some time sailing with the Pavement boys, and now he's putting some pain on them on board Euroflex.
That was a good one. Short on body weight here.
And Nathan Outeridge just giving praise there to Lockie Gilmore, saying awesome tack, nice work. Very soft where they are, and you see Tech 2 in the right of the picture just steaming upwind. Big top mark fairway. Got to exit out of here with the pressure, get you taken down the course as fast as possible.
And we could have a shortened course here, Jimmy. It's been hard going out there with the wispish breeze. It's been flirting with the sailors all day.
And yeah, I think you're right, Nick. They're going to go from this top mark back to the gate and finish on the downwind leg.
So advantage Euroflex at this stage. That'll play nicely for them, but for record point, they're a bit further back. Pavement will be liking their chances here. Let's not forget, they're in podium contention. They're in Ben Lexcen Trophy contention. And one little mistake on board Euroflex, and Pavement are going to roll over the top of them.
Really interesting here. Euroflex opting for that left-hand turn, and I imagine you'll see Pavement go straight with that right-hand turn. And this is it. The race is on to the finish.
Yeah, we can see it's final leg time.
Okay, big up in.
You can see barely any wind at the top of the track here, and little dots, that darker areas on the screen, that's where the pressure is. That's what you're trying to find. Link them up, get you through the middle gate. That's the finish line.
They're virtually on anchor there for a moment, but it's not long for the speed to build. We can see Euroflex are up and going. They're on their way to the final finish of the second last race of this series. If they don't have one hand on the trophy, they've got 1.5 right now, and they've got 60 metres on pavement.
And a massive one for Tech 2. They need to make sure they finish third here, and they're going to be really hoping that pavement are in second, because that's going to keep their hopes alive of getting Euroflex in this final race. Pavement seem to have good pressure here. They're going to be up on the foils in a second, so they might come all right into Euroflex.
If you can get some jib on it, would be good, mate.
Stand by tack.
So puffy out there.
Go straight. Cancel going straight.
Nathan absolutely steaming downwind there on the Euroflex. They're looking the goods.
This will be a massive moment for them in their quest for success here on Sydney Harbour at the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final. Steve Thomas hasn't given up yet, though. They're up and foiling.
We're looking at it in 10. Want to make sure we lay through here. Okay, Lockie, think about it. Yep.
Such a massive call from Nate to back himself for that left turn at the top, but it seems to be paying off at the moment.
So much pressure on Nathan Outridge and Glenn Ashby. They've got so much on the line here as pavement have got virtually nothing to lose.
More rake on it, down. It's sucking us, sorry. That's it.
Who's going to come into picture first here as we can see the finishing line?
Yeah, so keep on that board. If you feel like we're floating, go trim it.
Euroflex are steaming in towards the finish.
Let's go, boy. Okay, turning.
Got one more job to do. Big job here.
They're almost there, but pavement are coming in hot here. It's going to go right down to it.
Did you want us to ease the trap?
And it's Euroflex with the spoils, but only
it's got a short course flat.
ahead.
So I'm pretty sure that's short and course.
Pavements.
Let's keep cruising in case it's not.
Oh wow, they're still racing because they're not sure if that was the finish.
Well done.
Amazing work by Euroflex and pavement there. Such a tight race, that one.
Well, they're going to go past the VIP boat to around and thunderous applause.
7 seconds, nothing in that one.
Yeah. Let's think about this bungee is what we've got to fix, yeah?
And for Steve Thomas and the boys, the one that got away.
That would have been the crucial points they needed between Tech 2.
Well, here's Tech 2. It looks like they're sailing their own race at the moment. Luke Parkinson wicked up on 4 boards at the moment. Sam Newton with his big frame at the front.
2, 1. Look at that.
Really nice boat work here by Tech 2. They've got these jobs really down pat.
Like 4 metres.
So this is slowly becoming a 2-horse race here, Nick, between Tech 2 and Euroflex in this next one.
Yeah, it's all to play for now, isn't it, Jimmy, with Tech 2 crossing the line in third. It hasn't been the ideal day for them.
Temperamental weight in, guys.
And Luke Parkinson saying he's still having a few issues on the Game Boy there. If he can get those fixed in time for the final race, we're going to have some fireworks. They'll have nothing to lose in the final race of the series. 5 destinations. We've been all across Australia. And this race is the one that matters.
Yeah, that 7 seconds between Euroflex and pavement might be worth its weight in gold to Nathan Outridge and the team. I think that means in this next race they're going to have to get one boat. Well, Luke Parkinson on Tech 2 will have to get one boat between him and Euroflex to win the championship.
I'm going to have to get out the scrapbook and the pen to try and work our way through the lineup because record pointer back on the line here.
Mine's good.
And with the result for them, they're going to start
Coffee, we're
thinking about
winning
the
in here,
podium.
okay?
Massive day for these
Yeah,
lads.
nice,
a couple
Brando,
of
good
capsizes
ease.
and an injury. Brando slotting in nicely in the main sheet there.
Okay, yeah, no, all good. Ready to jive, boys?
It's one talented boat
Here we
builder.
go.
Oh, he sure is, Jimmy, no doubt about that. It's been a day of immense effort for Record Point to get back on the line for this second race in the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final. And I'd have to say, they take fourth position. They're going to feel like that was all worth it, Jimmy. All worth the hard work. Something to show the sponsors and something to show the friends and family. Hard work reaps the rewards.
Absolutely a massive hustle from those guys, and Brando will be a little more tuned in into this next final race. So will ID. Hopefully their boom's back and they could be two cats amongst the pigeons in this Euroflex Tech 2 race we have coming up. Massive final race, and this breeze is still extremely variable, everywhere from 5 to 15, 16 knots out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And Olivia
Yeah,
Price
gotta go. This guy's fucking in the way.
making her way to the finish and taking no prisoners in the process as well. A great effort from them, working through their electronic issues to get back on the race course and foiling. It's a home regatta for Josh McKnight, Harry Morton and Olivia. And they're going to have a lot to cheer about at the end of this season.
Going through the line. No, going through the line. Jump in.
I lost my trap jockey.
Okay.
We're waiting for the customary high five from Josh McKnight here, but he's got some work to do.
Another trap line shot cord gone, and Josh was actually telling me before they left the dock today that they were going to see big areas of pressure and big lulls, so he predicted the conditions perfectly. He knows the harbour like the back of his hand, and hopefully he can use that to his advantage in the next race. But awesome first beat from them in that race, really promising start.
These are the results, Jimmy, after race 8. It's Euroflex on top again. They're 2 from 2 in our final day of racing in the calendar. Pavement, great result from them. 7 seconds adrift. They nearly pulled one out of the bag there. And Luke Parkinson steady on the tiller. He finished with 3rd, with Record Point in 4th, rewarding Phil Robertson for his scaling of the mast. Great stuff from him, and clean mate again. Back on the line and back in business. Well done to Olivia Price and co there. Race 8, it looks like it's Euroflex's day. As we see, they are now with a 4-point cushion here in the Sydney Regatta. That's not enough to seal the deal here. Tech 2 can win the next one. Then Euroflex are back on notice. Pavement 2, what a great result that 10 points was for them. And indeed the second place finish before. They're now on 41, and they look like the most likely to dethrone Euroflex here. 12 points in the next could prove very handy for them, depending on where Euroflex finish up.
Yeah, Euroflex will be stoked to get Pavement between them and Tech 2 in that race. That could be very costly for Luke Parkinson there, and he's got a little bit bigger of a hill to climb, but this wind is so variable. Absolutely anything could happen in this next race.
If anyone can climb that mountain, it's our own Tenzing Norgay, Luke Parkinson. I'd back him in every day of the week. We can see clean made here. I mentioned family and friends watching on for them. That's almost true. Josh McKnight's parents are overseas. They're overseas at the moment, Jimmy, and he was counting on his neighbours being along to watch, but they said they were going overseas as well, so at least he's got his girlfriend there. Jack, what's happening on the water?
Well, Glen Ashby, that's 2 out of 2 on the final day of the double points. Tell us how things are going on board the mighty Euroflex.
Yeah, no, there's quite a bit of discussion going on board today as to how we best get this bus around the track. It's it's certainly different not having Ian Jensen with us, obviously this regatta, but today we're on our third forward hand of the weekend with Lockie Gilmore, and he's doing a fantastic job. Really shifty conditions, quite a lot of sort of weird sloppy waves coming through, so a lot of puffs, a lot of lulls, and it's really a yacht race day today. Head out of the boat, and try and actually transition the puffs and the lulls as best you can. It's there's some huge gains and losses to be made by simply just going the right way. So obviously boat handling is a massive one. We nearly rolled it over in that race. It was very, very close to being day over for us, but managed to survive, and certainly looking forward to this last double point race.
In the face of adversity, I've watched you the last 2 days struggling on port jibe. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, look, with our dagger board, I believe, on the starboard side of the yacht, just got quite a few little imperfections, if you like, in the corner where the board's been, repaired a few times. So I think that slight change in shape there, along with the party boats, has been causing us a few dramas on the course today. So, no, look, it's one of those ones. Obviously, the boats are very, very on edge, and you only need a tiny little imperfection on a foiling boat to cause you some grief. So we'll see how we go in this last race. The breeze is still up and down, but not far to go now.
So what have you got to do in the last race? You've got to obviously keep your eye on the red boat. What's the point difference? Do you know? Is it just about doing the best you can?
Yeah, look, I think, to be honest, on a day like today, you're really racing yourselves at the end of the day. It's puffy, it's shifty, it's very hard to cover, both upwind and downwind, so you've really got to sort of sail the breeze that you're in. And I think for us, it's just a matter of being able to try and get the boat around the track as we have done in the last 2 races, and then hopefully enjoy a little bit of liquid inspiration at the end of the day.
How are the arms holding up?
They're my little pistols are they're due for a bit of servicing, I think, after this. But no, going well. It's great fun, and certainly, being a yachtsman, to be able to sail on these sort of boats in these conditions is something that you dream about. So no, really enjoying it.
Good luck for the last race, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Well, the pistols in need of servicing, the party boats zipping past. I think it could well be a party for Euroflex later today, Jimmy. They've been the most consistent performer in the entire series. It only seems fair that they're one race away from boogieing to glory and the Ben Lexcen Trophy.
Yeah, for sure, Nick, and that's some absolute gold coming out of Glen Ashby's mouth there. Take note of what he said, because he's all about just sailing his own race. He's got to look up the track, do their thing well, and if they do try and cover Tech 2 in this race, then things are going to go south. They just need to keep their head out of their boat, find their own path upwind, and if they do their jobs well, everything will sort itself out. So getting pavement between them and Tech 2 is a very handy boat, and now Tech 2's got to do the same to Euroflex in this last one. They need to get one boat between them and Euroflex, and they'll win the championship. So really tight race coming up. It's not over yet. A lot can happen. You heard Glennie saying they almost tipped it in that race, and it's so shifty and variable. It's going to be all on. I'm really excited.
And their third forward hand for the week on board as well. It's not easy going out there for Euroflex. They've had their fair share of challenges this week, Jimmy, and Lockie Gilmore currently has a massive gash in his leg and a bit of tape holding him together. Let's hope the Band-Aid solution sticks and he can hobble up to the podium and lift the carbon fibre trophy that Deacon has minted for us here to be bestowed on the first winner of the SuperFoiler Grand Prix. It's going to be a big moment, and Euroflex are almost there.
Absolutely, yeah. Lockie Gilmore will be absolutely frothing, and interesting you see their record point just going for a little sail, doing another tune-up, getting Brandon on the same page, and hopefully if their teamwork comes together, they'll be right up the front, and hopefully ID got that boom fixed and they can be back out for this big final race on Sydney Harbour.
Well, Euroflex share their name with the European-designed steam mop, and they've been steaming through the competition all year. I know the Italian sponsors have been out here mingling with the world's best, and they'll be watching on European time at the moment. I'm sure they're up and tuned in to watch the America's Cup winner and the Olympic gold medalist close in on victory. It'll be a special moment for them to watch the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final go to 3 of the best on the planet.
Absolutely, so exciting this stuff, and you can see so many of the support ribs getting into the boats. They're such highly tuned machines that you need the right shorker and the right support, make sure everything's working, and get the boat 100% for this next race.
And I think that Glen Ashby was a tiny bit hard on himself there, calling them little pistols. I know he's not accustomed to doing a lot of physical activity on the boats after his America's Cup button pressing, but so much mental work goes into Glen Ashby's preparation. He's one of the most professional athletes on the planet and hugely inspirational for a lot of the sailors in the series. I know he's been so happy to share knowledge at every stage.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, true champions always step up, and Nathan Outridge and Glen Ashby would have lost count the amount of times they've been in this situation. You know, 1 or 2 points in it, just almost about to clinch victory and take out the title. This is where they do their best work, and this is what they're looking forward to the most. They'll be right at home in this situation. They got one more race. They need to stay within one boat of Tech 2 and the job's all done.
Well, Luke Parkinson will be lobbing in a few sailing Molotov cocktails in the next race, because if Euroflex can have a bad one and he can have a good one, it's championship advantage. The Sydney Regatta's his, and that'll mean the Superfoiler crown is his as well. So Luke Parkinson, he said on a couple of occasions that he had trouble getting the Superfoiler going, that he couldn't have even started a lawnmower. I'm telling you right now, he'll have that thing purring like an F-18 aeroplane in this next race. It's going to be foot to the floor, take no prisoners, and the trophy in sight for him.
Yeah, Luke will be right at home here. He's a Volvo Ocean Race winner, and with Sam Newton on the bow, he's done 2 America's Cup campaigns with Oracle, and no shortage of expertise on this boat. So Parker will be loving this opportunity, and he knows he's got a shot at the title, which is all you ask for going into the last race.
And for these guys on pavement, it's been a glorious day for them. 2 second-place finishers, Steve Thomas, Dan Morris, Reese Mara. They'll be looking for more bragging rights. Let's not forget, it's a few months before these guys will go head-to-head in the Superfoilers again, so they'll want to drag out today's proceedings for as long as possible.
Fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long campaign for these guys, helping the development of the boat, doing a lot of the sailing out of Woollahra here on this stretch of water. They know it better than anyone, and they probably know the boat better than anyone, so no surprise to see them up the front, and extremely talented sailors in their own right.
Sam Newton there just having a look, tinkering. An incredible hands-on sailor as well. Sam's got a business in the sailing world too, Jimmy. He's really knowledgeable.
Yeah, one of the greatest assets about having Sam Newton on your team is his ability to work on the boat and keep the thing running. He's so good with his skills, and these boats do take so much work. All the sailors are working on them all the time, and he's just fixing up the sealed trampoline there, which is actually 2 skins of trampoline. Usually there's just one, but inside those 2 bits of trampoline mesh, they run across as an absolute spider web of ropes, pulleys, shock cord to take all the ropes, suck them away under the tramp, and get that sealing effect between the big mainsail and that trampoline.
I'd be willing to bet no matter what state the Tech 2 is in, Luke Parkinson would promise to send that thing firing. Jack, is he ready to launch the final challenge?
Nick's just asking if you're ready to launch the final challenge.
Yeah, we're always ready. The first race, we got our feathers a bit rustled, not quite ready, but that last one, it's a bit tough. We're battling a bit of flight control issues on the boat, so every time we're on port, we got half the control that we probably normally would. So I think we've just fixed it, so we're keen to get going,
So what are you expecting with the weather? It's gone light here. Is it going to oscillate and freshen back in, or are you thinking it's going to stay lighter again?
It's a bit of a guessing game at the moment. It's pulsing through, little puffs, and sometimes you still get, you get a screamer and you go flying down the middle of the course and you get a big extension of the lead, like Euroflex and Pavement got that last one. Unfortunately, we're a bit slow out of the start after the interesting every boat being over situation, but once we got going and sort of got sorted a little bit, we dealt with the boat in its state the best we could.
Are you going to sail your own race, or are you going to take on the Euroflex and try and give them a penalty or something?
We're just debating that just then. I think if the opportunity comes up, we'll definitely give them a hard time, but it's pretty tough in this stuff because anyone can jump out in front and then potentially knock us off the podium, so we just got to be a bit smart about when to risk and when not to risk.
It's all on for the last race. Good luck.
Cheers. Thanks, Jack.
So much on the line right now, Jimmy Wazbowski. To take home the first Superfoiler crown is a moment in history, really. It's something that can never be taken away from you. It's something really special, and I know all the sailors want a shot at glory, and this is where the cream comes to the top.
Absolutely, it's a huge title, this one, to be the first Superfoiler Grand Prix champion. I know a lot of the sailing community around Australia, around the world, are all watching, tuned in eagerly to see who can take on the Euroflex and take the win. But Luke Parkinson seems to be the right man for the job, and hopefully you can get off to a good start here. And interesting to hear him talking about, are you going to engage with Euroflex? Are you going to go at them before the start, try and take them out, get a penalty? But hearing from him that he's just going to try and sail his own race, not try and create too much. But if the opportunity comes up, they're not going to let it go by. They're going to try and pin a penalty and force them down the fleet.
We can see that ID's tinkering and getting ready as Harry Morton's just taking a moment to have a bit of a breather. It's tough work on that bow.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a young gun in the sport, got a 49er campaign on the go, and he's just relaxing the mind and the body, getting ready for this next big race.
Yeah, his body's at Temple, and right now it's closed down for a little bit as we see ID Intranet getting ready. Jack rated them an 80% chance. Look at this doggo. What a good boy. There is the what comes through frame there. But look at this doggy. He's a good boy, isn't he? Look at that.
He's looks like he's with a big Tech 2 fan. So good to see everyone coming out to support.
Well, it's a dog day afternoon on board that little tinny. I'm sure about it. Jack, who have you got for us?
Nick, I think that 80%'s gone up to 90% for ID. I can see they've got their boom back on the boat and they're looking very good for the last race.
Fantastic, and given the circumstances around ID today, Paul Campbell-James will be keen to throw this in the mix, surely.
Yeah, I think so. They were pretty revved up. They did a lot of work on their boards last night and they've got all the ability in the world. So I think they'll be wanting to go out on a high after a pretty tough series actually for them. So it'll be nice to see them in the front bunch for this last race.
Are they going to look to do it with 3 sailors on board? I can see that one of the boys is currently in the drink at the moment.
I'd say so, Nick. They need all 3 in these conditions. I think you've heard all the sailors talking about how difficult it is in the oscillating pressure. So absolutely, I think they'll be rolling with the 3.
Well, I think it might have been one of the boys looking for a foot strap, chucking it back on. Good stuff, Jack. Thanks for the update there. And look at that, a bit of work on board ID to get it all ready. And it's Paul Campbell-James just cooling his heels there for a little bit.
Yeah, good to see, and interesting to hear from Luke Parkinson on Tech 2 just before about how big the gains and losses can be downwind in this breeze. You know, if you position yourself in the right spot on one puff, you know, that can be the 200-300 metres that pavement found. And, you know, the race is never going to be over until you cross here. It's still extremely variable. These boats sail a lot faster than the wind downwind. So as you're going downwind at maybe 20, 25 knots of boat speed, when there's only 10, 12, 13 knots of wind, you know, you have to look forward, plan ahead, link the dots, and sail your best race downwind. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the gains and losses.
Paul Campbell-James, he's a BAR America's Cup sailor, and he's spent a lot of time in the water in Sydney Harbour today. In fact, he was one of the first sailors to go swimming in the series. He took a dip in Adelaide when he was momentarily overboard. We'll be kind to Paul Campbell-James and say that. And, well, he'll feel pretty excited about this series coming to an end, I think. He's enjoyed racing the SuperFoiler. He's made some great memories, and I know that he's really enjoyed racing alongside Fang Warren from WA, and Ed Powell. He's a good friend of his from the home country.
Yeah, it's really cool to see guys from the British America's Cup team from that circuit, Ed Powers and Paul Campbell-James, come out to sail the SuperFoiler and still be blown away by the performance and have so much fun racing these boats. Shows just how hard, how difficult they are, and you know, that's one of the things in sailing is it's hard to find challenges sometimes. It's hard to find boats that push your ability, push your skill, and push you all the way to the limit and past it, and they've found that in the SuperFoiler, and that's the most exciting thing about sailing is the technology moving on and you're running after it.
There's been so many learnings, so much improvement. You've seen that in the speed transfer and the proximity of the SuperFoilers as the gap between them all is closed with every race, every skirmish on the different waterways that we've enjoyed racing on around Australia. And as far as it's panned out across the series in the race for the Ben Lexcen Trophy, Euroflex has been the clear front runner. They won the first 3 regattas. They had a horrible outing in Bustleton, our last exchange, and that's what allowed Tech 2 into the contest. But Pavement, you know, they haven't won a regatta, but they've been steady on the podium. They were on the podium in Adelaide, on the podium in Geelong. Gold Coast was one to forget about. And back in Bustleton, they were back on the podium. So they've been consistent. Steve Thomas deserves to be there. And you'd have to say at this point how it stacks up in the series leaderboard at least. Tech 2 and Pavement are the only ones that can cause Euroflex headaches at this stage, Jimmy.
Yeah, it seems that, you know, sailing high risk is the preferred option. First or last seems to put you in pretty good stead, but we all know the one to nail is this final race, this final regatta in Sydney. It's all worth double points here, so this is the important one as we look at the distance sailed, and really interesting to see how little distance that Pavement managed to sail. That one glamour puff they found on that first downwind, absolutely carting them down the track, and that's so many metres saved for them.
There was a great pick from Steve Thomas there, and average speed, not the insane numbers we were seeing regularly crunched out yesterday on the penultimate day of racing in the series. But not bad there, 15 knots on average, and well, nearly 30 for a top speed on that glamour puff that you called there, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's not often you see the boat's average speed actually higher than the average wind speed, so that's a good one for the Superfoiler and shows just how high performance these boats are. You know, you really got to think fast and move even faster on these things.
Yeah, 30 knots on the trapeze. It probably feels like 45 knots when you're out there zooming along with the harbour underneath. And, well, we're barely scratching the surface of what we can do in the Superfoilers. We're licking our lips at the prospect of more racing, and I'm sure there's more tricks. And what we don't want to see, Jimmy, is any rolling over at this point. We want all the boats to be upright. And look at this gentleman in the yellow shirt there watching out. He's enjoying himself, and that's actually my dad, Jimmy. He's enjoying the racing. There you go. How good.
Oh, good to see you got some support out here too, Nick. That's fantastic to see.
I'm happy to tell you he paid full price for a ticket. He was asking for a discount. He's a bit of a trickster in that way, Jimmy, but I said full price, thank you, please. It's a sellout today.
Perfect. What a good Samaritan.
Great boat. What a great place to watch the racing. It's almost like a giant eyeball, isn't it? The Express VIP zone. And, well, they've had their eye on the best part of the race course all weekend.
Absolutely. And they're just heading up the western boundary there, and they're going to put themselves in prime position for this next race on that VIP boat. Such a good spot to look from, and such a good area on the top of the craft there as well.
It's been such a mega undertaking. The Superfoiler team, spearheaded by the McCartney family, they thought of this idea a couple of years ago. Everyone wrote them off. They said it wasn't possible. It's crazy. You're wasting their time. And they chipped ahead. They forged forward, and they proved the doubters wrong. That first race in Adelaide, 6 Superfoilers, 18 of the world's best sailors zipping around. And it's been an incredible undertaking from Adelaide. They then went to Geelong, on to the Gold Coast, and they hauled across country from the east coast to the west coast of Australia, and then they staged a regatta in Western Australia in Busselton. Some 6 Superfoilers packed down into moving pallets, 100 plus parts, assembled them all again. They went racing. It's the equivalent distance of flying from Sydney to Los Angeles. That's how far the Superfoiler journey has travelled, and it's all been to crown a winner of the first ever Superfoiler Grand Final, and it's going to be a precious moment for whoever manages to do that as we start our pre-sequence countdown.
Yeah, such an unbelievable undertaking to design a new boat on a new series, and there you see Harry Mile, who was injured yesterday in racing, hurt his knee, and you know, he's lapping it up on the VIP boat, which is good to see.
Yeah, and I'm sure Harry will be first to try and have a sip out of the trophy, although it's not too well designed for that. Jimmy, not too much surface area to sip success out of, but I'm sure that won't stop Harry, as everyone wants to bend his ear up there at the moment and ask for some feedback, and it's a special moment for him. He'll be able to say he sailed on the winning Superfoiler, something no one can take away from him.
Yeah, if the boys can finish it off, I'm sure he'll be ecstatic. He's been their shore crew for the whole season. He's got so much knowledge behind him from the Moth class, and he's a massive asset. And you know, he's really been instrumental in getting the Euroflex this far. And so good to see these boats finishing off the series so strong. They're Australian built, which is such a cool thing to see. And yes, can't wait for this last race.
It's going to be a great race, Jimmy, and a key moment in the pre-race countdown ticking through here.
Trying to fly here.
So we've got another 2-lap race coming up, the final race of the regatta. And it's very much Euroflex versus Tech 2 unless something really out of the box happens, but Euroflex need to make sure they need to finish right behind Tech 2 on their tail, or if they finish in front, they've still got the job done, and Tech 2 need to get one boat between them and Euroflex to win. So it's going to be all on for this race. Very puffy conditions still, very light at times and gusty at others, so it's going to be a very difficult race course to navigate.
And if Euroflex and Tech 2 run into some serious trouble and Pavement managed to ghost through well ahead of them, well, Steve Thomas could find himself with a new piece of silverware as well. So keeping an eye on Pavement as well as Euroflex and Tech 2.
Like it's still, it's marginal for, in other words.
Stand by 3, what do you reckon? 2.
Seems like Euroflex like the top end of the line up near the committee boat end. And there's the pin end right at the bottom of your screen. So interesting to see if Luke Parkinson, he's going to jibe here, set up underneath Euroflex. lead them out to the left-hand side of the track.
Pull up, please. Big trim.
I don't think Nate's getting up the lane line there, is he?
Start real fast here.
Okay. Going behind. Wait across.
So ID just dipping below Tech 2.
Driving here, boys.
How long?
Driving.
Record point, stuck in a tough position here, 18 seconds to go.
Slow. Ease the trim. Ready for it? Okay.
Yeah, board up, please, board up.
Tech 2's going to be right on the nose here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. Clear start.
Clear start, and a great one from Tech 2 there. And clean made, another amazing start from Olivia Price.
She's nailed all the starts this week, Jimmy. What a great start this is. We can see Euroflex not yet in picture there. They are just out of screen with clean made leading Pavement at the moment. And look at that, ID, Tech 2, clean made. They're the three at the moment out front with Pavement, Euroflex and Record Point in their dust.
As we said yesterday, the first 30 seconds are the most important of the race, and Tech 2's nailing this at the moment.
This is nervous times for Nathan Outeridge and co. Tech 2 doing what they need to do. Advantage Tech 2, Jimmy.
Unbelievable work in Euroflex. Absolutely gassed down the back of the fleet. This is going to be incredibly tough for them to claw their way back. And Tech 2 hammered down, heading out to the left-hand side.
Go board.
It's a great start from Luke Parkinson. Tech 2 rocketing on.
Hook me up.
And Olivia just folding underneath Tech 2.
Yeah, we're clear. Easy cross.
Easy cross, as you hear from Luke Parkinson.
Pavement almost rolling over the stern of clean made. Euroflex will endeavour to do the same.
Swing hard.
We have no trap.
Euroflex have an absolute mountain to climb here.
Here we go. We're on lay here. Pretty soft though, okay?
Hey, the marks are just...
Go board up when you can, mate.
So soft lay from Nathan. That means they're laying the top mark. And that's going to be really important if they can make that in one.
Okay, punch it now. Yeah.
It's Tech 2 with the lead so far. Clean made in second. Pavement third. Euroflex languishing in fourth at the moment.
In left turn, please. Pressing.
Yep, little press on this way.
Taking off.
This is the big dance, Jimmy. The dance card's full. This is the last one. The music's about to stop. Who's going to have the chair?
Tech 2's definitely rising to the challenge at the moment. There's nothing he can do but sail his own race. He's got to set himself on fire. There's nothing to do but go.
Wait forwards.
Yep.
And a massive hole in the breeze there. That must be 4 or 5 knots. Sam Newton up on the bow.
And he was up there quickly.
The northeast is coming down from there.
Wait forwards.
Euroflex with a little more pressure here.
Yeah, it's a little left now. Lifting there. Yep. Go to the bow.
Tech 2 almost stopped there in the middle of the course. No breezes. Just head out of the boat.
Forward.
Where's the next puff? Let's find it and get to it.
Oh, this must feel like every second's an eternity at the moment for Luke Parkinson. He had such a nice lead, and it's disappearing from underneath him at the moment.
Can't see Nathan, you got eyes. Pressure's all on the right side, isn't it? How are we on him?
Hearing from Nate. Pressure in the right.
We need to try and go right there at the top, eh?
Main sheet's caught, Aiden.
Pavement also wanting that right-hand turn.
Got the mark.
Stay low on that bow, brother.
Keep digging.
Wait
Still go to the right.
So frustrating in these times. You just want to use physical force and make the thing go faster. You can't. You have to be smooth and use finesse.
Tack set. Tack set.
Incredibly difficult. I think we'll see a tack to that right-hand side here from Tech 2. Sorry.
on everything.
And what about this? There's only 80 metres between the top 5 superfoilers. It's as close as we've seen all series.
Yep.
This is where the race will heat up down.
Stand by big Trav. Go Trav.
Like we saw last race, you find that one puff, you'll be on the foils and away. A few hundred metres later, you'll be down at the bottom mark.
Okay.
So Olivia Price opting to head in the same direction
Hit
as
it,
Tech 2.
Taking off. Wait out, Aiden. Can take off.
She turns the mark in second with ID in third. And it's a procession at the moment. We've had a flag. A penalty's called.
Euroflex have heaps on here, rounding in 5th place.
Holding that line
Tech
there.
2's flying.
Not ideal for Nathan Outteridge, Ben Ashby and Lockie Gilmore.
Go, Trav, down.
And while Euroflex are stalled in 5th position,
What are you thinking?
we can see Tech 2 leaping forwards. This is tense.
Okay, little.
You can see everyone sending their bowman onto the front of the boat.
Yeah, come back.
And this is disaster for Euroflex at the moment. If they finish 5th, the Tech 2 win, then that's good night, nurse.
Absolutely. So in this situation, Euroflex would have to get back to 3rd. They would still win the event.
Yeah, so on the next one.
Fair to say, Jimmy, they're not where they need to be at the moment. They need to scramble. They need to find something now.
Sorry, my mistake. Tech 2 would... So Euroflex would need to get the 2nd to still win this event. They can't have one boat between them and Tech 2.
Oh, goodness, Jimmy. At the moment, it's not looking good for the series front runner. They're under serious pressure from Tech 2. They're about 100 metres away from them at the moment. So Luke Parkinson's got the lead.
He can sort of jibe whenever he wants to. What do you think? Do you want to lead him out of here or not?
Yeah, stand by.
And Cleanmate's enjoying her 2nd position too, so this is great sailing from Olivia.
And Tech 2 finding more trouble, more light wind. They've jogged back onto port. Really tough conditions. They're trying to stay down this cliff edge where the wind's just compressing a little bit. A couple more knots of wind down there.
This is where tactics, finesse and anticipation pay double, Jimmy.
You see Pavement getting a good roll on over Euroflex there. And Pavement's trying to push the foil. Trying to find that mystery puff they had last race.
3 point. My main. Yeah.
What a cliffhanger we have here at the moment. Tech 2's going along the coast there, looking for something with ID, who's in 3rd position. Tech 2's got some serious distance on Euroflex at the moment. It's almost the football field.
The spectators are loving it. They're allowed to go all the way up to the rock wall here as far as they please.
And Luke Parkinson giving the lads a bit of encouragement as well. He does put on a good performance.
Not far for jibe, eh? For water. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bit of cone, maybe. Yeah.
Got to be really smooth through the manoeuvres here, trying not to wash off any of that speed. He's just gliding downwind nicely.
Well, they've got Milk Beach in the background and the cream is rising for Tech 2 at the moment. It's a great moment in the race, a great moment in the championship race also. And one would have to say the advantage is with Tech 2 at the moment. The red flyer's not flying, but she is moving in on victory.
Absolutely, and Euroflex need to get to 2nd position here if they want to lock up this title, and they've got a big job to do.
Continue?
There's just nothing out there at the moment.
Just keep looking back at what's out there.
It's just clean made between Euroflex and Tech 2, and that's the boat they'll have their eyes on.
Yeah, just patience.
We got to go to the other side of this big
Words from the master there, Nathan, just patience.
Setting up, driving when I can.
Wouldn't be surprised if they shorten it to this bottom, to this finish.
That's what they use it.
Driving.
I think we're okay now.
And Nathan Outteridge has half of Wanji here watching on.
It's building behind us and the race is going to start again.
So Nathan's saying it's building behind us, the race will start again. What that means is that when the new breeze hits, it's going to be a whole new race and reset everyone.
He's doing the right thing at the moment. Euroflex has just rolled pavement, so they're into 3rd. They need to get on top of Cleanmate. That is crucial.
Good news here is that when that new breeze does roll down, those back marker boats will get it first. They're going to bring the new breeze down and possibly sail straight past Tech 2.
You can see Lockie Gilmore way out the front there, almost like a mermaid on a pirate ship. At the very front, trying to get weight forward.
See just how chopped up the water is. So much.
Come back a bit, mate.
So much weight from
They're
other
taking
boats.
off down to Lewis. See Cleanmate and Steve.
So Euroflex back into fourth at the moment, our series leader. They've won every race today, but this is the one that's going to matter. Get this wrong and it's game over. Cleanmate in second. They love the light wind sailing, Olivia Price, Josh McKnight and Harry Morton.
They're doing a great job in second place.
We saw them podium in WA in light breeze. So expect this to be Cleanmate conditions.
Change the lift one on this board. Are we going to try and foil or?
And Tech 2 have the series leading combination right now. As Olivia Price discusses, does she go for the foil? That means she's got a bit more pressure out there.
Okay. And it's Glenn Ashby on the board drop this time.
Okay, here we go.
His pistols will be burning.
Big pump on the main there. Really smooth through the boat. Trying to keep those outer holes out of the water.
Sheets to Lewis.
And this was, as you said, the first 30 seconds in this race proved decisive.
I think we're almost into a drive back here, eh?
Okay, this is it.
It's very close.
Looks like they're all hunting pressure in that right-hand side.
But Euroflex aren't even in shot.
Yeah. Stevie's up.
Here goes Steve.
He's
got pressure.
It's a really good one.
I wonder how this would play out for Steve as well.
Pavement's foiling.
A lot of positive in that. Here we go. Basically taking off.
Pavement will be in the lead in no time here.
Can you trim on it all?
Wait out.
Steve Thomas working his magic, finding that mystery puff.
Should I come out?
Sorry, stand by. 2, 1 and driving. Yep.
This is good for Euroflex. Pavement get in front of Tech 2. It means one less boat that they have to pass. Euroflex trying to finish right behind Tech 2 at a bare minimum.
Euroflex up. Sorry, Tech 2 up and foiling at the moment, taking metres out of the course, closing in. As we see Euroflex on our telemetry is also up and going now, taking the challenge to Tech 2. Race on.
Euroflex move into that winning combination. One spot behind Tech 2. That's what they need.
There she is. Like a heat-seeking missile firing down the course. Nathan Outeridge isn't just knocking on the door. He's banging like a barn door in a hurricane right now.
And now Tech 2 need one of the other boats to step up, do some work for them and get between them and Euroflex.
SuperFoilers, this is the race committee. S flag is flying from the bottom gate. Come from the bottom gate to the end gate and finish.
So there you hear, shortened course, they're going to the bottom gate and then back to the finish line, and then that'll be the race done.
So that won't be too bad for Euroflex. If they can hold this position, they'll probably do enough to hold on.
Euroflex just crashing off the foils there, and Tech 2 extending their lead. They're still heading down to this bottom mark. And then another half leg back upwind.
Probably ease. Ease more then. Left lift. Nice. Copy that. Yep. Looking for a puff.
Tech 2 doing a really nice job here.
No. Stand by drive.
So Tech 2 will want Pavement to roll Euroflex for them to hold on to the win. All Euroflex has to do is finish second to Tech 2, and the Ben Lexcen Trophy is theirs. That's how it's washing up at the moment.
Little puff to jobbing here in 10.
Euroflex, great pressure there. 3-string, that's good news for them. They should be able to work it onto the foil.
Just got to build and job, okay?
So they've got two little battles going on here, Jimmy. They're racing Tech 2 and they're racing Pavement.
And they're foiling. Into a drive, through to this bottom gate.
Copy. Left turn if we can.
And it looks like they're wanting a left turn, but have they overlaid this, Jimmy? Are they going to have to chuck in another manoeuvre here?
Yeah, so Tech 2's going to have one more manoeuvre into this gate. Euroflex, 90 metres.
And closing at the moment.
Parker calling for a flip-flop jibe. That means he wants a left turn.
Big one.
Lifting the board when you can, we're working it
A
down.
crucial moment. We've got a reduced race, and we've got Euroflex zooming
Get
in.
the board down.
You thought you were home, Parko. Not yet, buddy.
Could be around the outside of them here.
They're up.
30 metres in it.
And they're going to stalk them all the way to the line.
Euroflex round the outside.
Okay, board up now.
Wait in.
Awesome manoeuvre by Nate Dowdridge. Now he's going to jam it in a high motor to try and pinch Tech 2 off.
An absolute masterclass there. Euroflex are just
watch the wind and you
squeezing.
can take your weight when you want. Bloody good downwind there, guys. Soft at the moment. Pressure coming in about 10, Lockie. We'll take you when it hits.
A little more pressure coming
Yep,
to
we're
Euroflex.
foiling in this one.
And they have
hit
rights
it.
to tack when they like.
Little easy, big swing.
Good pressure out that side. But
Yeah, come back.
Pavement's really chomped down the metres here, only 85 metres
Here we go,
behind.
press
2, Sam. 2,
Big ease.
1, tacking.
Look at that. Euroflex, they turned 4 seconds behind for the final leg, and they're now just in front, about 10 metres ahead of Tech 2. They can taste their moment.
And you would think Euroflex would tack and go with Tech 2 here. You wouldn't want to let them get too far away as Pavement are right behind.
There's no rush for the tack for me. Just don't want to get caught in the big lull.
Nathan, he's going to risk it for the biscuit
I'm
here,
happy
pushing a little
anytime
further
from
into the corner.
And it looks
Yeah,
like
big
Steve
leg.
Thomas is following
Turning
suit there as well. Olivia Price, she rounds in 4th position.
Okay, turning.
And now Tech 2 are up and foiling on 3, just touching down there.
And Nathan, he's got to be right behind Euroflex and he's got to stay in front of Pavement. He's got a big job to do. And Luke Parkinson absolutely letting it rip here.
Well, he's putting some metres into the dream team at the moment. He had some electronics issues, he's fixed them, and now he's flying.
And Euroflex seems like they've got decent pace, and there's Pavement. They're the one to watch. Pavement need to get in between these two to shake up the points, and Euroflex will just have their sights set on Tech 2.
Okay, stand by, stand by.
Wonder how crucial Euroflex's decision not to shadow Tech 2 will be.
2, 1, turning.
They said they were just going to sail their own race.
And Tech 2 might be away here, and Euroflex just need to stay in front of Pavement. That's the boat that's going to cause the damage for them now.
Good puck here, okay? Like you want to just get the inline back.
On a great header at the moment, Tech 2.
Copy.
They're doing everything they can do.
Euroflex almost got a piece.
You can't turn twice!
Protest! And we've got a protest!
You can twice!
Let's go.
What? Setting up the tack.
Let's go, let's go.
Fucking go!
I know.
Calm down. Here we go. You first, Connie.
So Tech 2 claiming that Euroflex was aiming at them.
Here it is.
Trying to get the penalty, and I think it's been green flagged.
Lay the pin, right? Yeah. Okay, Bobby, go board.
That was a good dial, that one.
Well, Euroflex doing what they needed there.
Well, you heard it from Nathan, good dial.
Oh, there are going to be some
Almost
tense
backing
words in the
ourselves
launch
against
pad.
Euroflex have the edge, 40 metres ahead of Tech 2.
Got a call.
Pavement just not close enough.
This is the finish.
Yeah.
Hold on, boys.
There it is, the
Nice one,
Wizard
Glennie.
of Wanchee and the brilliant Bendigo boy.
Hold on, mate.
Out of Region Ashby.
Schnitzel right there, bro. Talk about schnitzel. That is right there.
And they've got the schnitzel, they've got the chockies,
That bloody ley line. Oh.
and they've got the Ben Lexcen Trophy. It's theirs.
Good first day. You're on it.
They'll be proud of themselves. They've had to work incredibly hard for it.
How good was the dial down?
Parko sailing an unbelievable race, leading almost all the way around. Euroflex fighting all the way back. That was unbelievable.
And Steve Thomas is going to cross in 3rd position.
Well done, guys. That was a shame they shortened that race.
And the top 3 sailors across the whole year are the top three in our final race. And look at that moment. Winners are grinners. And Euroflex are all smiles.
That was the top mark. No win.
Nathan Outridge, Glenn Ashby and Lockie Gilmore filling in on the bow, doing an unbelievable job. They're two very difficult guys to roll with, and he's definitely kept up.
We go past the old.
They want to do the champagne and then we'll go down towards the big boat before that's the run.
So Outridge and Ashby etch their name into more sailing folklore with the first
Glennie, grab that.
ever SuperFoiler crown. And what a way to do it, Jimmy. That was awesome.
Yet or not?
Unbelievable sailing from those guys to dig deep all the way back from fifth to first.
And champagne sailing. Oh, they had to work for it, Jimmy. They had to work for it.
What a crazy day. Losing one of their crew in the first race to injury. Getting the sub in. Lockie Gilmore stepping up for the last two races. We had 20 knots in the first race and almost no wind in that final race. This is classic sailing. Sydney Harbour throwing everything they have at these three sailors.
Jack, you're with the winners of the first ever SuperFoiler Grand Prix circuit.
You need to hold. Yeah, here with the winning team, Nick. We've got Glenn Ashby, Nathan Outridge and Lockie Gilmore. Well done, boys. How does it feel, mate?
Oh, it's been a really tough event here in Sydney. And, we've had to have a good battle again today. Lockie put in hard and it was awesome to have him, join us. Gave him cheers, boys. Gave him a bit of injury before the start, but he's all good. Sent him around the mast in the second race and had a pearler in the last one, so very happy.
Lockie, how's the leg, mate? Talk to us.
Yeah, we're holding up at the moment, but it's going to be sore tonight. And it was pretty fun going around the bow. Popped my head up, didn't hit the rudder, so pretty stoked with that. But yeah, it was a good day with the boys. Stoked to be sailing with these two legends of the sport. So it's awesome and happy to have them invite me sailing. So it's good.
Courageous effort, mate. Well done. Glennie, how does that one feel, mate? You must be happy with that schnitzel.
Yeah, no, look, really, really pleased, obviously, and it's been a big team effort to get to this point. Obviously, Ian Jensen, not here with us this weekend, and Harry Mile, being with us right the way through since day one, and having his fair share of ups and downs, on and off the water. But fantastic team effort, and just really, really pleased to finish it off, as we hoped to do when we started the series.
How are you feeling around the top mark?
Yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking, not a whole lot of wind, but we had a few little chats and just sort of slowly, and then we found our moment. But as Glennie said, to be honest, it's been a massive team effort. Goobs and Harry have been putting in the hard yards for us all year, and we've had lots of different people help us within the team and the whole SuperFoiler team. And without the work of all the boat builders and all the guys, it's really hard to get jobs like this done.
Well done, guys. So congratulations, the first ever SuperFoiler Grand Prix winners, the mighty Euroflex. Well done.
Oh, what a great moment there from Glenn Ashby, and I saw he was savouring a few extra sips of champagne. No one would begrudge him for that. That was a killer moment.
Unbelievable work from these guys. They've put on an absolute clinic in that final race and this final day, winning every race. I think Nathan's commentary at the top of the course sums it all up. He said, let's just be patient here, let's wait for our opportunity, and that's exactly what they did. And to have you back against the wall, you're in fifth and you need to get to at least second to get that race is absolutely incredible.
Well, he stayed patient, Jimmy, but he didn't miss the chance to inflict a bit of pain on the challengers there, waving to the family. He doesn't need to wave for the cameras. Nathan's whole entire family and half of the Wanji community are here today, cheering him on.
Yeah, he's got plenty of support, and I'm sure he wanted to finish it off for them. And halfway through the season, I don't think they would have predicted they'd have to battle that hard for it, and I'm sure it's all the sweeter now.
28 wins in this series, Jimmy. Yes, a stranglehold on the trophy from day one. But I tell you what, they were pushed all the way to the end there, and an admirable effort in defeat from Tech 2 today. They threw everything at Euroflex, and they will be very happy to see them succeed. Euroflex with a clean sweep today. They took out race 3 of the day, ahead of Tech 2 with Pavement finishing in third. Our top 3 in the series overall, finishing the last race of the series with a top 3 finish. Clean made in fourth, a good result for them, and great to see ID and Record Point, all 6 SuperFoilers starting the series in the way with 6 superfoilers, and we finish the series with 6 superfoilers on the line. After 9 races here in Sydney, a full complement of races, it's Euroflex with the chocolate. 61 points for them, ahead of Tech 2 on 55, who just edge out Pavement on 49. They'll be the 3 on the podium in Sydney and the 3 on the podium for the Ben Lexcen Trophy 2. Record point in 4th, a great effort from Phil Robertson to scramble back onto the racetrack after losing Sam Phillips earlier in the day, and ID will be happy to finish just ahead of Cleanmate at Cleanmate's home regatta. 9 races, a full complement. You've got to love that.
Yeah, absolutely awesome work from all the teams, and so much action today. 4 capsizes we saw and a couple crew overboard. You know, it served up everything we'd hoped.
And Euroflex, they win 3 regattas, they win 4 regattas. Sydney's worth twice the points, so they finish on 31 ahead of Tech 2 on 27, who just escape ahead of Pavement, who round out the podium in 3rd on 24. And what a close battle we saw between Record Point and ID. Record Point just edging out ID with Cleanmate with an admirable 12 points there, Jimmy. A podium finish for them, of course, in Bustleton.
Yeah, awesome work from those guys, and it's been a long series travelling all around Australia, and a lot of these teams just coming from all over the world to experience what we have here, and I'm sure they've loved every minute.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be back. I know one team that'll be looking to go one better next time will be Tech 2, but in many ways they've had the people on side this regatta. They've had such a good performance. They've really taken the fight to Euroflex, and, well, they never gave them a moment of breathing space. They would have been absolutely worried. I'm sure that Ian Jensen was watching in Bermuda nervously, and I'm sure Jack enjoyed being on the water's edge. Jack?
We'll start with Luke Parkinson, skipper of the Tech 2, 2nd place overall. Well done, mate. That was a tough day.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. We're pretty stoked to come away 2nd on the podium after today. Pretty tough day for us, really. We had a bit of problems with the boat and just, you know, a bit rattled on the first one, and then managed to get our form back for the last one.
That was tough going around the top mark, but you picked it pretty well going down the run.
Yeah, we made a few mistakes the other day foiling when we probably shouldn't have been, and I think, you know, Sam definitely guided us to making the right choices today, and unfortunately we underlaid the bottom mark, which was one of our big no-nos. But, you know, you make a mistake, and such a class team like Euroflex just, you know, they pounce on it.
Steve Thomas, 3rd place getter on the Pavement ship. Well done. That's a solid effort.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. You know, after our day yesterday, we're pretty happy to come away with a 3rd. You know, Phil had a jump on us, and I think today they had a few issues, so let us sneak through, which is good.
So I guess looking back on the whole circuit, Steve, tell us what's the highlight for you, mate? Is it the 37.5 knots straight into a cartwheel?
Yeah, I think my highlight was when you said it was, or Nick said it was 37.5 knots was the record, and Parker was standing there going, "What about me?" he thought he was a real record holder because he didn't crash, but no. That definitely wasn't the highlight. You know, crashing's never that much fun, and for us, how tight the whole tour has been, and all the teams competing are, you know, good mates, and everyone's having a good time and helping each other out, and that for me is the highlight. Just to be around your mates and having fun racing the best boats that I've ever raced.
Luke, it's been a battle. You had a very tough start in Adelaide. Now to finish 2nd, talk us through how the whole SuperFoiler Grand Prix experience has been for you.
Look, I still think the boats are unreal, and I enjoy every opportunity I can to get out in the water on these things. And that, you know, getting out of the blocks in Adelaide, we're raring to go and give it a good crack. And then we had, you know, our fair share of injuries and crashes and breakages and things exploding. So, you know, to get the boys back on track and to learn from all the mistakes that we've done throughout the season and to pull together as a team and to have the same team the whole way through has been pretty special.
Well done to the Tech 2 team and the Pavement team. That's 2nd and 3rd overall. See you next time.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Well, music to a lot of sailing fans' ears there. Luke Parkinson saying he'll be back, and Jimmy, I get the feeling he'll be looking for one better next time around. He's such a tenacious fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely proved his form, and we know he's a thrill seeker. He loves sailing yachts as fast as they can go around the world, and he loves sailing the SuperFoiler around Sydney Harbour even more. And the speeds these guys have seen are unheard of, and, you know, they're just addicted now. It's really cool to see.
Also heard Steve Thomas there echo Luke Parkinson's thoughts that it was the funnest sailing boat he's ever been on. Your thoughts on that comment, Jimmy?
Yeah, there's no doubt that the Superfoiler has proved its worth. To be going the speeds you are, a foot off the water on trapeze is just mind-blowing. It absolutely just peels your eyelids off when you go more than 30 knots and 35 knots. And, I'm sure all these sailors are dying to get back on the next season when it starts up and do some more sailing.
And there are a few bumps and bruises. I'm sure a few of the sailors will be relieved that is indeed the last leg of the series. We've had 5 legs over about 8 weeks of competition. There are going to be some creaking bodies in the boat park.
Yeah, it's been a brutal circuit and really tough on the bodies, and we've seen a lot of changes on the boats, a few injuries, breakages. They've really had to roll with the punches and have a lot of depth in their team. You've got to be really ready for anything, which is such a cool thing with this sport, and something that we don't see anywhere else.
And you said at the start of this season, Jimmy, that the best sailor is the sailor having the most fun. Almost hard to crown a winner here. Everyone seems to be grinning like Cheshire cats out there.
Yeah, we've definitely got the best sailors in the world racing around at the moment, that's for sure. And that is just the thing is you're with your mates and you're pushing it as hard as you can go, and it is just that, a happy boat's a fast boat, and you've just got to keep sending it.
Good one coming in too.
Olivia Price going for a bounce there on one of the supporters' ribs, probably going out to share a few drinks and a few tales about Cleanmate's epic scramble to the line today. I can see she's got a drink in hand, and well earned for her after getting a team together like Cleanmate. The London Olympic silver medalist recruited some impressive personnel, and I think they surprised a lot of people here.
Absolutely, they've performed so well, and a baptism of fire for Olivia Price going this fast in the foiling. She was relatively new to it, and she's been incredibly impressive. I think she's probably had the least amount of capsizes of anyone, which is quite an impressive stat. She's so good in the breeze and so under control.
And these guys, Record Point, your old team, of course, with Phil Robertson, he had a tough start to the campaign, but he accelerated like a genie on a magic carpet, and it didn't take him long to be one of the best in the series.
Yeah, look, Phil's had a good old stitch up from the start of the season with a few injuries and crew changes, and he's finally got a solid group of guys together, and he really showed his worth yesterday, almost taking out every race of the day in the breeze. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve when the breeze is on, and he's going to take that into the next season for sure. So he's definitely one to watch.
It's a credit to the series to see the 6 Superfoilers finish the racing here. At one stage, I thought maybe we'd have a 2-horse race when they were dropping like flies. Jack, what have you got?
Paul Campbell-James is with me next. So that was a tough series for you, and it was, I guess, highlighted by today and breaking the boom and having a couple of swims. Talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't get much tougher than it comes for us today, and it's a bit of a bad way to end the circuit, but it's been wicked fun, and privileged to do it.
So why did you capsize, and who broke the boom?
Unfortunately, it was me that broke the boom. We've been struggling all series really at sailing with 2 foils down. So in that first race we were in first or second, and then managed to go backwards to last, which has been a bit of a common theme on our downwinds. So when there was a little delay between races, we thought we'd go and test and try some new stuff, and we tried some new stuff and ended up capsizing. The boys both went flying around the front, and I managed to kind of jump and hold onto the foot strap, and then the foot strap snapped, and I went into the main, which then broke the boom. And then the fitting wouldn't come out, and it's just a bit of a nightmare. So the boys managed to get it fixed for that last one, and then it snapped on the start line. So we kind of did well just to get around and beat Phil. So.
And the team spirits held together with all the stress and adversity?
Yeah, it's certainly been a bit frustrating, but yeah, everyone's still smiling, These are still wicked boats to sail. We're still in Sydney Harbour, and I'm hoping you'll invite me back next time.
Yeah, well, I think that'll happen, CJ. But sailing on Sydney Harbour, I've done it for a lot of my life. It's bloody tough, and you guys have got the toughest boat to do it on. How was it these last few days?
Yeah, it was bloody tough, and yesterday really highlighted it. We had etchels, we had loads of cruising boats, we had ferries, we had cruising catamaran things. It was all on yesterday, and it was really choppy and windy as well. So today was actually a little bit easier in terms of conditions, but we didn't make it look too easy because we can't sail downwind with 2 foils down.
Highlight of the season for you?
Highlight of the season, probably
Adelaide. I really enjoyed Adelaide. I really enjoyed the windy day in Gold Coast as well. You know, the first people to beat Nathan was good in Gold Coast, and actually that windy day in Gold Coast was probably my highlight.
Very good, CJ. Well done, and I'll enjoy a beer with you this evening.
Yeah, cheers, Jack.
I imagine Jack is going to use that beer to sign CJ on for next season. He's been one of certainly the favourites in the launch pad and talking to all the fans of the sport. And it's been great, Jimmy, to see so many sailors who aren't in the series embrace the series. Big names of the sport.
Yeah, it is so cool, and they're going to have to go and build some more boats because there's a lot of teams just knocking down the door to have a crack next year. And, you know, these boats are getting more refined every time we race them. And I know next season we're going to see bigger speeds, bigger crashes, bigger races, and it's all going to be on, and there's so many people that want to be a part of it, and I absolutely can't wait.
I certainly can't wait, and while I hope to see you on the boats next year, I hope to see you back on one of the SuperFoilers. I would love for you to come back and spin some yarns in commentary as well, so we'll get you back in whatever capacity we can, Jimmy. How's that sound?
Yeah, good to have a plan B, I guess. Thanks, Nick, but yeah, look, it's really been enjoyable watching the racing, and if you can't go sailing, you might as well talk about it, so it's been great.
It's been great to have you. It's been great to have Olympic gold medalist Tess Parkinson add her wisdom to the circuit as well, and we couldn't have done it without Jack McCartney on the water. On behalf of the entire team behind the Superfoiler, thanks so much for your company. We've loved bringing this exciting racing to you, and we look forward to doing it again next time, bigger, better, faster than ever. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.